Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back and upset about the defeat that we just suffered at the hands of the Miami Dolphins. Guys, you already know who we are. You know where to find us and all that stuff. Let's just get into it, man. Fellas, how y'all feeling up there, man? What's going on? Both of y'all up top. One here, one here. How y'all doing, man? What's going on?
Man, we got manscaped. To be honest, we got manscaped, bro. Like, we got chiseled up and down the field, bro. Like, I don't know, man. This is upsetting. I'm angry at certain things. I'm beyond frustrated and obviously upset that we lost. So we'll get into it. But Wayne, what do you feel, man?
I'm confused like a mug, bro. I'm confused, man. I don't even understand what I just watched or what I witnessed. I can't even explain it to you guys the way that I like to explain stuff because I don't understand it. I'm going to go back and watch it to try to get a better understanding. But even when Kyle spoke, I still didn't even understand what the hell he was saying. It was like he was speaking a different language too. I think everybody is lost, and I can't wait to get into this show.
Mike, what are your thoughts, man? What are you feeling?
I'm depressed. I'm depressed because I had aspirations of my favorite football team making a run for the postseason, getting healthy. This was supposed to be the get right game, and it was the get work game. We got worked all up and down the field. The offensive line that we thought we had, we got an all-pro left tackle. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We got a first-round good right tackle in Mike McGlinchey. No, we don't. Lincoln Tomlinson's been the Iron Man. He's one of the best linemen on the team. That ain't saying much now. I saw Brunskill getting thrown backwards so many times today. It's depressing. It's depressing. I have this head coach that I believe is this phenomenal game caller, this play caller, and he was out there playing tic-tac-toe all night long and just starting in the middle every single time. Every time. It was depressing. It's discerning, man. Like this team. Listen, we said this was a get right game. Well, I'll put myself there. I said this was a get right game, and it was. We got right to the point, and we see exactly who we are. This is who this team is. It doesn't matter how good the play calling is if the offensive line can't hold up and execute, and the defense is beat up. We need help. We need help on the defensive line. We need help in the secondary. The team gives up too many big plays. I mean, the one mistake I saw tonight that was acceptable was a false start by an anxious rookie in the defensive lineman. That was it. I mean, not a false start, encroachment. That was it. That was the only acceptable penalty I saw all night long. There were penalties I saw that I didn't agree with. There were penalties I saw that I agreed with that were on us. But it was a bad game. It was a bad game. It was a game that makes you depressed, and it's going to make it hard to watch this team going forward. Are we going to win some more games? I'm sure we will. Which ones? I have no idea. The offense was out there and 90% strength. And how many points did we even score? Did we even get 20? No, we didn't get
17.
We didn't get 20 points with our starters. It wasn't. We had more points with C.J. Beathard out there than with Jimmy Garoppolo. What? All right, I'm gonna shut up. Y'all can talk, man.
Yeah, we had 10 points with CJ, 7 with Garoppolo. I want to run down these stats real quick because I find it interesting. So the Niners were 2 for 10 on third down efficiency today. 2 for 10. We say this team is, that's what got us so far last year is third down efficiency, right? We have not been good on third down at all this year. Where's the blame going to be pointed for that, right? And we'll talk about that. We only ran a total of 59 plays today.
That was hard to do when you went 3 and out so much.
Right. 59 plays for a total of 259 total yards. Completion percentage to attempts was 16 to 35 between two quarterbacks, only 3.7 yards per pass. Sacks for yards lost, we were sacked 5 times for a loss of 43 yards. We had 131 total rushing yards on 19 rushing attempts. and 2 for 3 in the red zone with 3 turnovers and 7 penalties for 75 yards.
Which are good numbers, by the way. Those rushing numbers, those are good numbers. In a normal game, those are great numbers. Less than 20 attempts for 100 plus yards, those are great numbers. It's over 5 yards a pop. Those are great numbers under normal circumstances.
Which is a little bit more over the average than the Miami Dolphins give up, which is like 4.7. So we're rushing over what they normally give up. So, yeah, you're right, Mike. Those are good numbers.
But, look, we were also super excited about this team getting their starters back. Is it safe to say that we see how bad this team didn't gel in training camp or on the field through weeks 1 through 4? You know, Debo being out, Jimmy Garoppolo being out, Raheem Mostert being out. Is this a game like this is a serious question, and I'm not sure what the answer to it is. Is this a game we look at and say, you know, okay, well, there's an excuse for it because we haven't had our starters out there? Is it no, it was just lackluster play? Is it the offensive line, nothing's ever going to gel because of that play? Like, what is it offensively? Let's break this team down offensively in this game. And where is the faults at? We went through 2 quarterbacks this game. The offensive line play was whatever. And then the running game, we didn't even run the ball a lot because of the fact that we were down the game so much. So what is it?
Well, let's start the game over. Let's rewind the game. Okay. We go 3 and out because we decided on 1st and 2nd down to throw the ball and then run the ball and then punt the ball. All right. You know, you said that the run game, what I don't understand, you know, this is not, I'm going to throw Kyle under the bus. I still think he's a great head coach. You know what I'm saying? What confuses me or what I don't understand about Kyle Shanahan is when he chooses to dial up certain types of plays. I've seen coaches be aggressive with play calling. We've seen Kyle Shanahan be aggressive with play calling. We've seen him say, let me, I might be saying it wrong, so let me finish what I'm saying. When Kyle Shanahan sees the run working, what does he do? Sticks with the run. I'll say it. He sticks with the run. How do I know? Because we've watched Raheem Mostert rush for over 200 yards and playoff games, as well as regular season games. Well, the run was working better than the pass blocking. It was just working. The run blocking was a little bit better than it was in the pass blocking. And what I guess my issue was before we got down, Nick, like before we went down by like 20, you know, when it was 20-0 or whatever, like I thought maybe we would run the ball a little bit more to at least get the offense into some type of a rhythm. Jimmy G wasn't in any type of a rhythm, whether you want to blame it on his injury, but his throws were horrible. He couldn't throw off step into his throws. Like he was throwing inaccurate passes. Like he just looked like Jimmy G from week 1, which is technically, this is his week 1 coming off of a 2-week, you know, injury vacation or whatever. This is like his week 1 again, guys. He's got to get back into a rhythm. And this is not me saying I'm all valid, you know, for Jimmy G or throwing excuses for him. He was trash. But what I'm trying to say is, like, this is when you think that your play caller will dial up something to get a team going. Like when we needed a touchdown drive, when we had the ball, thanks to Trent Taylor's great return, right? We had the ball on our side of the 50. What did Kyle Shanahan do? Go aggressive, run, pass, run. Kyle Juszczyk, touchdown. Right up the middle. We ran to the outside so much, it confused the Miami linebackers. They didn't know what the heck was going on. They run that 3-4, and we ran up the middle with Kyle Juszczyk, who got his first rushing touchdown since he was a Baltimore Raven. So those issues, like that is where my confusion lies, because I'm saying you're this great play caller, yet you didn't like respond correctly. Okay, so Fitzpatrick drives his team down the field, gets a touchdown for whatever reason. Then you come back and respond. You don't come back and why can Jimmy not? Jimmy ran 1 bootleg, a pass to Debo Samuel. He ran 1. It was effective. It was for like 14, 15 yards. Why was it 1 though? Was
it Jimmy that did that or Beathard?
It was Jimmy. Then Beathard did it a
Then
lot.
Beathard did 3 in a row, and we go right down the field and score.
That's my point. So why do you dial it up once for your starting quarterback who clearly does not feel comfortable in his pocket, and then you take it away? That was the scoring drive. Then you take it away, and then you do make him go back to where he's getting punched in the mouth, kicked in the throat, whatever. I don't understand it. This whole episode for me is I'm confused.
Symmetry. Let's get this comment off real quick. Symmetry said, appreciate you, Symmetry. Says Kyle Shanahan is making rash decisions in personnel and play calling. He needs to stop acting so robotic and get back to being innovative, and it starts with the head coach.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm not the only one that see it like this, man. I'm not. And we said he was being robotic because where was all Jimmy passes? In the middle. And where were they playing their coverage? In the middle. Like, they were there. They knew every pass that was going to get thrown into the middle, minus the couple of catches that maybe I think Ayuk had a catch. George Kittle had a catch across the middle. Sometimes they were in zone, they got beat. But when they were on it, bro, they were on it. They knew Jimmy was immobile. He couldn't move, and they were on it.
I still don't think Kyle Shanahan's an aggressive coach or play caller. I don't. Calling plays that are clearly working doesn't make you an aggressive play caller. What makes you an aggressive play caller is Andy Reid in the Super Bowl on their first 4th down, going for it. That's aggressive play calling. Going for it again in the fourth quarter with when you're leading on 4th down in the Super Bowl. That's aggressive. Okay, they went for how many fourth downs tonight? I know they got 1 or 2. I was there when it happened. I saw at least 1, but they converted 4th downs tonight. That's aggressive. Playing with a lead. They were
2 for 2 on 4th down.
Right. They were blowing it out.
Who was 2 for 2?
They were
Dolphins? The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Okay.
They were 2 for 2 tonight. They were 2 for 2 tonight. That's aggressive play calling. Kyle Shanahan, when he goes up against another aggressive play caller, he kind of snubs his nose. You have to be aggressive. That's a sign of desperation. If you're just a good play caller like I am, you don't have to do that. We always want to credit Kyle Shanahan for being aggressive against New Orleans. No, that was desperation. That was because your team was about to get smoked and you had to do something, right? Then you sit back and you look at even tonight, the first downfield throw we saw, second half, first play from CJ Beathard. It was incomplete, but it was the first downfield throw we saw outside the numbers. The first one. And then what happened? He did it again.
No, Jimmy threw
and it got intercepted, right?
It got intercepted. That was at
the end.
40-yard ball.
That was at the end. It was
right,
all
down. No. What we've seen with CJ Beathard.
That wasn't the play call.
But Mike is saying it didn't happen early. Why wait?
And that wasn't the play call. That was when the play broke down and Jimmy got desperate and just heaved it up there. Both interceptions by Jimmy were just desperation throws.
Not the second one. He pump faked. It wasn't in the middle. And he saw McKinnon down the right side of the hash, and he threw it. I thought he threw it to the wrong spot. If he would have threw it to the out of bounds, I thought McKinnon might have had a play. Instead, he threw it on the inside, and the safety was right there. I don't know if that's desperate, but I could be wrong.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's reactionary to you getting your ass whooped and having to do something then.
Opposed to you going out there doing it.
Right. Remember how we said we need Jimmy to come out, whether it's incomplete or not, on the opening drive, take a freaking shot, make them respect. That's aggressive play. Aggressive play calling doesn't mean successful play calling. Aggressive means, hey, we here to play today. We're not going to captain check down and run all night long. Aggressive is spreading the ball around and being, assertive with your game, with your play calling. Kyle Shanahan, he's not an aggressive play caller. But he's methodical.
He's okay.
See, I look at aggressive a little bit different than you. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but I also think aggressive is the type of play design that you're doing. Like, whether, like, let's just take the New Orleans game where Emmanuel Sanders, you pitch it to Emmanuel Sanders and you throw the ball down field to a running back. Like, that's aggressive play calling because it's a trickery. type of aggressive play. Like you got more chances
I
of
think that's more methodical though.
but I still think it's aggressive.
Both.
Because
I see what Nick is saying.
Yeah, I think you're still going in your bag and digging deep and pulling something out that's being aggressive instead of keeping it conservative.
We were down 20-7 at that point, right? Something like that.
No, I think that one tied the game.
But see, I don't look at that as aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of like Mike's example about aggression opposed to that. Like I felt like that was something that, you know, whether it was desperate or we needed to try something new, that's not being aggressive. That's just saying, yo, I'm out of tricks. I'm out of what's working. I'm going to just try something, trick them, and then try to get back in the game. And then if you're consistent with doing crazy stuff like that, then the aggression starts. But I like what Mike was saying, yo. Like, why didn't we just come out the ball? If we're going to throw the ball, why are we dunking and dinking?
Right.
Take the top off the D. Like, try something. What if he catches it?
And even look, Kyle Shanahan's the head coach. The team is a reflection of Kyle Shanahan. Even on defense, we're not aggressive. If you're worried about your secondary, why weren't you blitzing more? Why weren't you listen? And don't tell me, oh, we did with the nickel corner. I saw him come in there on a 4-man rush. I saw him be the 5th guy, right? But they were doing a freaking hunt block play from Madden. They did it like 5 times. Guess how many times it worked? 5 fucking times.
They sent all the people on the line?
Yeah. They sent everybody.
It was all out blitz.
That's aggression. That is aggression. They were destroying us in that game, and they were being aggressive with the play calling.
But it's different. It's different, Mike.
The team doesn't do that.
But it's different on their part, right? Because they had the lead, right? It was a big lead. It's not like am I wrong, Nick? Like usually when you have a big lead, you play with a little bit more aggression. You slot more blitzes. I mean, you have a lead.
We had leads in week 1. Did we do that in week 1?
No, I'm talking about a comfortable lead. Those dudes were up by 20 points the whole game, bro.
All right.
I see. This is where I think that, like I said, like I think aggression it means something different to everybody, right? And the reason that I say that is because, you know, Mike's theory on it is being aggressive. Just come out, just do it, right? Whereas I agree with that, and I also think play calling being aggressive. So whether it's just coming out and throwing the ball deep, or it's something that you don't normally do and keep it conservative, where we're throwing the ball dinking, dunking, you're doing those type of plays where, you know, you're dialing up something that you normally don't do, and you're going for it. You're putting it all out there.
Okay.
Offensively, play calling wise. And then defensively, you know, aggression to me is dialing up different packages, throwing in those blitzes, having blitzes come from opposite directions, right? So we've seen this with what's his name? Greg Williams. Greg Williams, Jim Shorts, like those type of guys, they get aggressive, right? So they'll send different blitz packages. They'll send guys where you don't even know where they're coming from. They'll run stunts up front, which we don't do anymore, right? Because we play this wide 9, and it's like you're assigned to this gap. This is what you do. You go forward. You play the run on the way to the quarterback. That's what we do in this defense. So we're not doing all those stunts that we're used to, or we see other teams doing. Look, the teams tonight, our offensive line looked
garbage.
Yeah.
See, with the packages that were coming, they look lost.
All right. So the first sack that Trent gave up, the dude, the end, faked to the outside and just went inside. He beat. If that's a move, he beat him.
They told me Trent has some of the best recovery speed in the game.
He probably did. He probably did at one point. Maybe right now he doesn't. Maybe he's slowing up. I don't know, Mike. I'm just telling you what I saw. So when we go back and break this down, I promise you're going to see a fake to the outside. Trent goes out.
I saw the play. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what's going on, but that wasn't it, because Trent wasn't the only one that kept getting beat on that side. They even put a tight end on that side who got beat. like people were just
almost killed
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Almost severed that man's spine on that play, bro.
That was Ross Dwelly. And I think that was the moment where Kyle, if this is true, where he said, all right, man, get me through this first half and I'm gonna get you out this game. I think that's what it is, man. Riggs. Riggs. Hey, Riggs.
Read this comment real quick.
Why put a practice squad guy on Devontae Parker? 30 points before the half off penalties and big shots down the field. Number 48. He's talking about Brian Allen. And I think they put him on him because of Brian Allen's size. But I mean, Devontae Parker is a monster, yo.
Did the guys switch side the field tonight, or did they all just stay on one side?
I felt like they all stayed on one side.
First time all year that happened. They were doing field side versus sideline. They didn't do that tonight. Why? Why? The one night you change it up is the night that we don't average 18 points on defense. You see this young man. See, and this is what I mean by being aggressive. Like aggressive, you don't have to be like sending a blitz or doing a Hail Mary. That's not what I mean by aggressive, right? And so there's a difference between a scheme and being aggressive. Aggressive, you got to know when to turn it off, turn it on, because otherwise that's just your design. That's your scheme. You know what I'm saying? So there's a big difference. There's a big difference, right? Greg Williams, he has an aggressive scheme, but then there's also times where he turns it up. He can get real nasty when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll send the whole house at you. But what I want to know is like, where's the difference? We're such a smart coaching staff that it's like, guys, it's football. It's football. Like, do something. This guy is getting killed. Put a. Where's the safety help? How many times you got to see it happen in a half before you? Yo, we got them in the 3rd and long, and Fitzpatrick was like, "Hey, watch this. We're gonna go right back to that same dude, whether we catch it or not." Pass interference. Every time they got in the 3rd and long, they just threw it up. Akello Witherspoon's play, you know, and that was a questionable call in my opinion. My opinion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Akello even got his head around. And when he went to put his hands up, the tight end pulled his arm down, and then he fell on top of the guy with his hand still up. But they threw the flag.
I think they were making contact before that, though. I thought before he got his head around, he already had made contact by touching the wide receiver. I think that's why they called it.
No, I agree. But we have to remember that touching isn't illegal. It's impeding the ability to catch. That's the part that's illegal. Now, maybe it did. But what I'm saying is this, though. Like, every time they got into a 3rd and long situation, they just heaved it up. But we got to lose.
Well, that's the quarterback's mindset, bro. Like, that's the difference between...
Where does that come from?
But that's the difference between a quarterback who's 37, who's been in the game, who's been... Like, he just has that mindset. Jimmy's mindset isn't that. CJ Beathard's mindset isn't that. What? Like I never in my life said, yo, throw to get a penalty. I've never, ever had to say that. But
why not, though? But why not?
Because I thought that, hear me out, yo. I thought in football as a quarterback, I thought that would just be something like you have innately, like that's in you. Let me get to the guy. Let me find the receiver that's in man coverage. That's what it is. You find the receiver that's in man coverage. You give your guy a chance to get a 50-50 ball, right? Usually you'll get the penalty. But our quarterbacks don't think like that because of scheme. There's too much going on, Mike. It's too much.
I get it.
Okay.
No, I understand what you're saying, right? But you have to also play within all the rules. It's just like this, right? A team is driving down the field on you and they kicking your ass and you don't want to burn a timeout. What do defenses do? They fake an injury. You see a big guy fall down, right? And they stop the clock.
It's
right?
funny you said that. Yep.
Okay, but that's a thing. Remember when we got momentum marching? We got momentum marching down the field, and all of a sudden, wasn't there guys was just laying? Like,
I said that today. That happened today.
Yeah, that's my point. I understand that it's a cheap out, it's a cop out, right? It's a low hanging fruit. It's within play the game. Play the game, bro. We can't sit here. We can't lose with dignity. It's a loss or it's a win. Which one you want to be on?
I feel like the football part of our guys is gone because there's too much smarts being pumped into them. They have to know the plays right, or they're not going to play next week, or they have to be in the right spots, or they're not going to get a chance to start, or like the football part, the physical part, like that part, like the stuff they've been doing all their lives. I've watched not one of the DBs, maybe Akello, you could say he got his head around, but Brian Allen's head as a defensive back never turned on any one of those plays.
Bro, even if they did, he was diving for the ball, like from the side, like he was nowhere near the hip pocket. But he still didn't turn his head though. So like
that should be an automatic thing you do at the last second because you're gonna get the penalty anyway. So
That's hard.
you might as well just turn your head. I guess it's hard. I don't know.
No. I was saying like I'm agreeing with you. Like that's hard. Like that's hard. You got to turn your head. But see, the thing is, like I can't give it to one guy and not give it to the other. You can play defense as a DB and not turn your head around as long as you don't make contact. He was laying on my man. I think that's what Nick was talking about. He's just like reaching and just falling all over him. You don't have to turn your head.
Every throw.
Right. You don't have to turn your head to play defense. Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying it should be an innate thing to do as a DB, especially when you ain't played in 2 years and you've never played really. And it should just be something. Oh, ball's coming. I see the wide receiver making a play. At least turn. Now, if I get beat after I turn my head, cool. Hopefully, I don't get the penalty or whatever. But he was lost.
Richard Sherman's check is getting bigger and bigger. When he comes to the table to renegotiate.
Yo, it's crazy because I was going to ask you that question.
I get the bang, 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 boom.
How many Niner fans that were complaining Richard Sherman needs to be gone are wishing he was here and is going to be here? This shows how much he means to this defense.
No shame in my game at all. I was one of them. If it was up to me, I'm mad y'all took that comment off because I disagree with a lot of that.
Which
comment.
One?
That one about no dogs on offensive defense. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, and I wanted to pick that comment apart, but it's cool. I was one of those guys. I've always wanted to see Akello, Witherspoon, and Mosley as the starters. I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted, and I've never hidden that from anybody on this show. Well, people might not know that how much I like Mosley because I always wanted
advocacy for Akello, right?
Right, but I've always wanted. Those were my two favorite DBs on the team. I've always wanted those two guys on the squad as starters. But that comment that was up here saying that we don't have any dogs on offense or defense, that is absolutely wrong. When you want to know if you got a dog on offense. Yeah. When they're running down the sideline with the ball in their hand, and instead of going out of bounds, they lower their shoulder and lean into the contact.
That's every running-back and wide receiver is doing that. Yeah.
When your team is down by 3 or 4 scores, and those safeties and corners are throwing their bodies around and still laying the wood, those are dogs. Don't you can't question the heart of the players on the team. It's the play calling has been my issue all night long. You have to
season long, Mike.
Yes, you have to do so. If your offensive line can't protect for your quarterback, you got to come up with quick throws. You can't expecting these guys to do 5-step drops if they can't get to their third one. That's on play calling. I'm not telling Kyle Shanahan to come in here and just know what the other team is going to do, but you got to adjust at some point. You have to make like in drive adjustments sometimes. You're calling the play, bro. That's it. You're calling the play. Like, you got to do something, man, on defense. Yo, this guy is getting burnt. We playing single high all night long. Send some help. Send some help. Let him get burned. But there's a safety over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something, man. You got to change it up. They played the numbers all night long. They barely threw across the middle of the field. You know why? Because our linebacking core is really good. They barely threw in the middle of the field. They kept it outside the hash almost all night long.
And they went deep.
Yes. So send the safeties out there, man. We can't get beat like this by the fucking Dolphins, man. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, bro. We deserve better.
My uncle called me. I'm a little upset with him because he couldn't be on my cooking show because he said he had to work. He a big Dolphins fan, you know what I'm saying? Then he calls me and told me he spent the whole day watching TV. He didn't have to work or whatever because he was prepping for this game. And I'm saying to myself, But I know why he called me, yo. He called me to
rub it in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he was cool with it. I was cool. I was calm. I was collected because I know what I'm watching or what I'm witnessing isn't real. Like it's straight fantasy right now. Like we just.
How many times you got to see bad before you believe it's real, bro?
It's not that I don't believe that the bad is real. I just feel like there's gonna be at some point. I feel like we're gonna get better when we get the majority of these pieces back. So when we talk about depth, right? And we had this question with Marcus when he was on the show. He was talking about how like the depth, like that next man up mentality, all that crap, like that don't work for this team. It clearly doesn't, because if the next man up isn't like slightly like less than the person that's starting, and they're like light years away, it don't work. And like it doesn't work. Our cornerbacks, is it safe to say? And I don't even know how we could measure this if Emmanuel Mosley, because he hasn't even played. But it's safe to say that without Richard Sherman, the DBs are trash. All of them.
All right, it's possible.
So, and what I mean by that is, it's not that Richard Sherman is the greatest DB in the game. He's respected though, and because he's respected, you get a guy to get man coverage. He plays pretty well, so it's almost like having a pass. Then the pass rush isn't there. I know, guys. We say we got this pass rush. I got it. I get it. They're getting pressures, but hitting home is different. Like getting the quarterback.
Hyder working, bro.
And I'm not. This is no disrespect to Hyder, but Hyder ain't supposed to be starting, my guys. He's not supposed to be the starting. He's starting. He's doing really good, but he's not supposed to be. So, granted, Bosa's out. Granted, Ford's out. Granted, Hyder's in. But we do got some pieces coming back. You know, you got your Ronald Blairs, and you hope he comes back healthy. You know what I'm saying? And that just gives you more freshness, because we know one thing Blair can do. Blair can't get home. And Hyder can get home. So now you got guys get home. I haven't heard one player's name all game. Maybe you did, but maybe we weren't watching the same game. But did anybody here, and this is no shade to this
Eric
guy.
Armstead?
Nick, why? Why you in my head, bro? Why?
Because I was thinking the same thing.
That's why. Makes perfect sense.
I was literally thinking the same thing. Like, where is Eric Armstead?
And this is no disrespect to the guy.
No, definitely not. I mean, look, he's been one of the better defensive linemen this year. Like, there's no shot on him, but he was not mentioned at all today.
Is this
anything that he did?
Do you think it's a little bit safe to say that maybe these players with these other agendas, mine just isn't on football?
What do you mean?
I mean, because of what he's talking about at his pressers, the way.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's that, but I do think that there was.
I mean, could it be a distraction?
I don't think it's that. I think
is being black a distraction?
This is not about being black, Mike.
What are you talking about then? You're talking about the beginning of the pressures, right?
I'm saying that. Do we think we see? I've personally seen players just not play as well when other stuff is on their minds. That's all I'm saying.
I think a lot of this has to do with the deflation of the injuries on the defensive side of the football.
Injuries, COVID, like there's a bunch of stuff.
Like we got to understand. Like, look, yes, this team was a Super Bowl team last year. They were also, their defensive line was also stacked. We had a lot of different players. Even though we're in our depth pieces now, there was still a lot of different players here last year, right? You got Ronald Blair for half the season last year, right? Which will be coming back. Hopefully he's a huge help for us, right? Kerry Hyder wasn't on this team, right? Demontre Moore was here.
Kerry Hyder better.
No, I know, but I'm just saying differences in the line. So Nick Bosa was here. D Ford was playing more than what he's played this year, right? And I'm going by last year. Just even though Solomon Thomas wasn't a big producer, he was here, right? So it's different people on the line, and he got playtime. He got playtime in that middle. DJ Jones is not the same person he was last year that he is right now, like at all. I don't know if it's.
I thought DJ Jones had a pretty good game.
But he's not playing the way he played last year, completely, all around.
Let's look at DJ Jones.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what you mean by that. He's very good against the run, and he's still getting after the quarterback. I don't know what else is different. I have no idea what you mean by that. I'm not trying to be funny at all.
Is he getting to the quarterback though? Because his
you
one
think DJ Jones play right now. His DJ Jones play right now is the same as it was last year.
His
production and his play all together.
His one sack this season was because he touched the guy that was laying on the ground. Like it wasn't even a sack that he got.
To me, he looks slower. He looks slower as in speed-wise. He looks slower coming off the football. He doesn't get as much push as he was getting last year. He's not using his moves like he was last year. He's just straight up going after guys and going straight into them instead of trying swim moves and stuff like that. Now, he's tried them this year, but nowhere near what he was doing last year or what his production was last year.
Now, he was coming off of an injury, right? So is it possible
I'm talking from week 1.
But I'm just saying, is it possible for guys like that's what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna get Ronald Blair back, right? But he's coming off of this long period of time not playing. Isn't it possible that they just won't be? Maybe we'll get a spark, but it won't be consistent because until they get into some type of football shape, maybe DJ Jones is still working his way back in or whatnot. You got Kinlaw in there now. Armstead's still on the inside. Like I don't know. Mike
Dre said I was wrong because DJ was doubled this team. I'm not just talking about this game. I'm talking about his performance an entire year this year. I wasn't just talking about this game.
I think DJ Jones been playing really well all year, so I can't comment on what you're saying because I don't see what you see. So I'm not trying to be funny. I just can't add anything to what you're saying. I think he's been playing really well.
Right, that's your opinion, so that's fine.
Read this comment first, man. It's been on here for a minute.
Forever Faithful 49 says, suppose we had quarterback insurance such as a veteran or journeyman like Fitzpatrick. Do you think the outcome would have been different? No.
No, because it's play calling. It doesn't matter who's in there. It's the play
calling, execution. There's just
it's running a 4th and 1 play at a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's play calling.
Is that not aggressive?
No.
You just said that's not being aggressive. Didn't Mike say going for it on 4th down is showing aggression?
He was saying it's play calling. Like, don't be running a 4th and 1 out of a shotgun.
I know what he just said. I'm going back to what he said at the beginning of the show. You not with me? We talked about aggression. Mike spoke about running it or doing stuff on 4th down, going for it on 4th down. Then Kyle Shanahan
going for it on 4th down is what makes you aggressive, Breezy.
But you said that's what Andy Reid did in the Super Bowl, like over and over again. You said that the Miami Dolphins did it twice in this game, but they were successful with it. But when Kyle did it, that's not aggressive.
I said while playing with a lead. That's when they did it tonight. That's aggressive.
I didn't hear you say that.
Where they could have punted and just said,
I don't remember Andy Reid going for it on 4th down, playing with the lead. I remember them being down and going for it. Like
Andy Reid went for it on 4th down in the first half of that game.
Yeah, we were winning though. Like, you get what I'm saying?
We were up by 1 score. Andy Reid could have punted that ball and said, all right, we'll keep it close.
I got you.
He went for it.
But we were still winning.
And that's what I'm saying. It was a close game still.
Okay.
So you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference about when you do it. Like, the aggression tonight was,
this was a close game. We were down by 7 when we did it.
When
we
tonight?
went for it on that 4th down, we were down by 7 and we gave them the ball back, and then they got 14 points. I mean, they got 7 again. That made it 14-0.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. The problem is the play call on that right there.
The play call sucked. I'm just saying, is that not aggressive going for it on 4th down, trying to keep your team, in some type of rhythm?
I don't think he has a problem with going for it on 4th down. I think he has a problem with the issue of being in a shotgun and the play that he called.
I think you guys are missing what I'm saying. Okay, next. Keep going. I got you. It's cool. Mike talked about going for it on 4th down. Then he said it's when you go for it on 4th down. And all I'm saying is we went for it on 4th down, being down by 7. So is that not showing aggression from our coach? Because he said that our coach wasn't aggressive. So that's all I'm asking. But I agree with you when you guys say that this was a horrible play call. That was a horrible play call. I do agree.
Yeah, I don't think going for it on 4th down was a horrible play, like decision. I think it was just the personnel we used and the way that it was used, as in shotgun, and you went with McKinnon instead of shotgun and doing like a toss to a fast guy who can get outside the numbers, or a fake where you can do a quick screen, or just something other than the personnel you used and being in shotgun form, or even a goddamn quarterback sneak for one.
I don't understand why y'all getting frustrated me asking this question. I really don't. I'm just going back to what Mike talked about.
I'm not frustrated. I'm just trying to explain to you.
Mike, you talked about aggression, and all I wanted to know was Kyle showing aggression, being down by 7, trying to get his team in the game, going for it on 4th down.
But even then, I don't think that was aggression. I think the book.
Thank you. That's what
you know how they use a book that tells you if you're here on the field, This is the down and distance and the score. Like they have formulas for that. I
Right.
think this team is so smart and so analytical. That's the freaking word I'm looking for. They're so analytical that they have they just have a book. Okay, the book says to do this. You said it earlier. Yes, you said you don't want Kyle Shanahan to be so robotic. He's freaking programmed.
Yeah.
He's programmed. Whether he wanted to go for it on fourth down or not. Look, his book, the calculations came out, go for it. Now, okay, cool. But then call a good play. It's not aggression when your formula equals go for it.
Okay.
It's aggression when your formula says punt and then you decide to go for it. When you go against the grain, that's what makes you aggressive.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So like when your formula says you're down by 8 and you just got a touchdown, go for 2. That's not aggression because you went for 2. It's the right thing to do because otherwise you're going to lose by 1. You get what I'm saying? If you kick the extra point, that doesn't equal aggression. Aggression is.
No, I get it.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I'm just trying to explain to you.
I do understand what you're saying. That's why I asked. You get what I'm saying? Like, because you talked about aggression, but you didn't say any of that before.
Well, because that's not. We weren't on all that before.
No, we were just talking about aggression, and now I'm bringing up a play where I'm asking, was this aggression? And you're saying no because there was a formula that says you should go for it. You get what I'm saying? But people are misconstruing it. Like I'm saying that was a horrible play. Like that was a horrible play call. Excuse me on that. I said it should have been a quarterback sneak. Did I not say that on the halftime show? Like that's the play. It's always a quarterback sneak on 4th and 1. I'm okay if we don't make it on 4th and 1 with a quarterback sneak, but I'm always quarterback sneaking it on 4th and 1.
Or even if your quarterback is under center, he hands it off real quick. Use juice, like just something normal. Come out in I formation and hand it a juice instead of the runner. Something. Not shotgun. Not shotgun when you're giving them time to see what you're gonna do.
Yes, exactly.
The deception. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say, what are our receivers known for? Separation, quick slants, things like that. We didn't even come up under center like fake to where they pack the box.
I do that in Madden.
To where it's going to be a quarterback sneak and just drop out and do a quick slant.
I do that in Madden. If you see if you see that 8 in the box right there and that quick slant right there, check, bam, touchdown.
But then you're not even getting just the 1 yard with that. You're probably getting another 15 or 20 on a quick slant.
Come on. With our receivers, that's a touchdown.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like the play calling. Look, I love that he went for it on 4th down, but the way that he went for it on 4th down is bullshit.
I agree.
With the personnel that you have, you use the wrong running back. First off, you use the wrong running back. Now listen to me, like I'm Kyle Shanahan, but you use the wrong running back. Let me say that again. And I'm a Jerick McKinnon guy. You use the wrong running back.
You don't use a scat back for a 4th and 1.
Right. Then you got a Jeff Wilson Jr. who's a goal line guy for you if you decide to run the football, or you quarterback sneak it, or you use your receivers and their separation on a quick slant because that's what they're good at, and then getting yards after catch.
This is the second time Kyle's gone for it on 4th and 1 with that running back. Now the first time we did it, with not the power back. Without Jeff Wilson. First time we did it, it was with Raheem Mostert. We said, why the hell did he do that with Mostert? Y'all remember? And I tried to come in. I came on the show and I gave the excuses. Oh, well, that's the trick play calling right there because you weren't expecting Mostert to run it inside. It didn't work the first time, Kyle.
Oh, yeah. When we were talking about, I remember what you were talking about. Yeah.
It was, I can't remember which game it was, but they did. Was it the Jets
the Arizona game?
Yes, week 1. Right. Yeah. It was a 4th and goal from the 1. Was it 4th and goal or 4th and 1?
It was. It was 4th and goal.
It was 4th and goal, and he didn't get in.
And we said, why didn't you use either Tevin Coleman or Jeff Wilson Jr. compared to Mostert?
It wasn't even Tevin Coleman. It was why didn't we use Jeff Wilson Jr. because he's the goal line back. Like everyone knows, he's the goal line back. Because he had those 3 touchdowns in the goal line last season. So if you got this guy and he's dressed, why is he not being used or utilized right there at that moment? Even though you go back, I swear Mostert got in for that touchdown. I swear that was a touchdown. But they didn't call it a touchdown. So why wasn't he used?
The biggest take I have on that play is why the hell were you in shotgun?
On that same play on the goal line, right?
Yeah, on both of them. On both the fourth
What I
down.
said, it did work before.
And the 4th and 1. Why the hell are you in shotgun? You're putting yourself at a disadvantage of where the ball is starting compared to where the ball would start if you're under center.
I could see if they were in shotgun, Nick and Mike, if they were, if Jimmy can at least at the beginning maybe just see the whole field and see how.
And then audible up.
Right back up in.
Get what I'm saying, bro? Jimmy don't play Madden. I gotta get this mother sucker Madden or something because he gotta understand what to do in certain situations. Maybe Jimmy just can't read the defense. This is what I wanted.
It's not Jimmy. It's not. That's not on Jimmy.
But okay, but it's not on the quarterback to change the play with what he sees.
You don't know if he has that.
Well,
okay, that's fair.
We talked about that last week or the week before.
That's fair.
Remember, did we have that conversation on the air or in the group in the chat? I said I wonder how much freedom the quarterbacks in this system really have. This was a topic of discussion we had, but I don't remember where we had it. And I question whether or not they have freedoms or they have to do what Shanahan says. Remember this conversation we had? I just don't remember where we. God, I wish I could remember.
Yeah, because Breezy brought up about Jimmy Garoppolo does do can, but that is I think now. You get one play.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm saying you get the one that's the starting play, and if it does the look doesn't look right, then you can it and go to the second play. Right. I don't think he has his own. He's not out there like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Brett Favre type quarterbacks where they look and Peyton Manning's to where they survey the field and they completely change the play call.
Okay, I got you. And remember,
they changed. Yeah.
I was saying at the beginning of the year before we started, I said that this should be Jimmy's thing that he learned over in the offseason. But whether he learned it or not, we will never know because he's not given the power to do so.
Right. I think Kyle Shanahan is a guy who likes to be in control and know exactly what's going on the field at all times to where he controls what the quarterback does and what the play call is and what the down is and the distance. And this is why he doesn't have an offensive coordinator. He's been an offensive coordinator his entire career where he feels comfortable doing that, and he doesn't want to fail as a head coach bringing in another guy who runs plays where he has that capability of controlling what he has, what personnel's on the field at all times, and controls it. Now, does that hurt this team? Yeah, it does.
Guess what, guys? Guess what? By you just saying that, I bet $100 if we had an elite quarterback on this team, we'd still be struggling.
Yes.
Tell me I'm wrong.
If Kyle Shanahan is still the guy in charge like that.
We back in sync, baby. I feel like we've been arguing for like the past 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But now we back, baby. It's what I'm talking about, brothers, colored brothers. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
He just jabbed me up.
I was giving you the pound, didn't we, brother?
Yeah, we supposed to. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you, bro. But it's something that we've been seeing for a long time. And look, I know this is the overreaction show, and I know we're in our fields right now, right? It's a lot of negative. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is an excellent play caller 90% of the time. That's the truth. That is the truth. More often than not, he's absolutely right. He knows exactly what the defense is going to do and how they're going to react. This year, what we're seeing is defenses just don't care what your play call is. They're going to run their defense and they're going to do what they want to do, regardless of what your alignments. Listen, I saw them put 9 men in the box.
In the box, bro.
On one play where we had 2 receivers out there and a tight end on the field. 9 men in the box. They stacked that box so deep. They didn't care that you had guys spread way out. They didn't care that your tight end was off a little bit. They didn't even put anybody over the tight end. We coming. They didn't care. See, the league is figuring out that, look, Kyle Shanahan wants to manipulate our defense's players and where they are with how he aligns his offenses. So we're going to ignore that now. We saw Philly do it, and now we saw Miami do it. Both of those teams were in the same. IDGAF mode.
Yep.
Both of those teams are in that mode. Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing on borrowed time. He knows it. It's a top 5 quarterback sitting right behind me. I'm going to go out here and have fun. I'm just going to ball. They're going to bench me eventually, whether I win or lose. It don't make a difference, right? And Philly was like, God, we are 1 game out of first place. We got nothing to lose. Let's go out here and get it. If we lose, we only 2 games out of first. It don't make a big deal. It's not a big difference. The teams that are desperate are going to have our number because they don't care. They don't care.
Yep.
But that's the thing, Mike. Why are we not desperate?
Maybe we will become desperate. Maybe that's the question.
Why have we not been desperate?
Maybe that's
because
the issue.
Kyle does pride. That's the answer. Pride. Yep. That's the answer. Control. We're not desperate because we're smarter than everybody else.
We're more analytical than everybody else.
Yes, because the book says, and that's it. And that's why we're not desperate, because we can still beat you with the book. And that's not.
The Manuel says so.
Yeah, but the hard part about beating people with the book here, and if you have another team not playing by the book, which means they're a wild card team. They're wild. You know what they're gonna do, and they have the IDGAF mode in their head, right? It's hard to beat that team against the book. You have to come out there in an IDGAF mode. You have to hit them. It's just like
just like the Titans last year in the playoffs. They had nothing to lose. They barely got in the playoffs. You think they cared about going out here and trying to play well and reserve job? They had already benched their starting quarterback. They had nothing to lose, and they made it all the way to the AFC Championship with that I don't care mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how the Seahawks beat the Saints that year. What was it? 2010.
Here we go.
2010 with the Beastquake play. They didn't care. We weren't supposed to be here anyway. We were 7-9. We made it to the postseason. We ain't supposed to be here. We don't borrow time. We're going to go out here and just play football. Let's see what they can do. And that's how that desperate teams are the most dangerous teams. And I'm not saying that the Dolphins are desperate. I don't know what the Dolphins' plans are for this year. But here's what I do know. All the pressure's on us, and our last 2 opponents, there's been no pressure on them. And we get worked. Worked.
That's why I think going into some of these next games, it's a little bit different. I can't explain why yet. I just feel like different competition. We're talking about a conference game. Like, it's just a divisional game. It's a little bit different. I think we come in here with a different mindset. I don't mind being 0-3 at home. I just don't. I've watched road teams go on and win Super Bowls. Like, I watched teams go on the road and win Super Bowls. I'm not saying that I don't want home field advantage, but until we can get this, the synergy is gone, guys. That band of brothers thing that they had last year, it's not there anymore. It's something different.
Let me ask this question to what you're saying. And I know, like I said, I know this is the overreaction show. I know this is the emotional, just react to what we just experienced, right? But is there a chance it's just a lot of injured players still on the field? Is there a chance that it's just a lot of inexperience? This guy didn't play in 2 years. Akello's coming in playing with a bad hamstring. Jimmy Garoppolo's coming right off of an injury, right? I mean, is there a chance that they still got it, but they just got to heal up? They got to get back into gameplay mode. Is there a chance that, we're killing Jimmy Garoppolo for how he played tonight, right? He had a 15.8 rating at the end of the game or something crazy like that.
It's like 17.9 or something like that.
That was 15.
Yeah, something like stupid, right? But is there a chance? Is there a chance that this team can shake it off? Look, man,
that's the question. That's what I was trying to ask you earlier. As in, do we blame this on there's no chemistry between these guys because they've never been on? This is the first week they were all on the field, other than week 1. And Debo, no training camp. Ayuk was filling in. Different receivers.
Ayuk wasn't even there week 1. Remember, Ayuk didn't even play week 1.
No, I know, but I'm saying in training camp, like they just been bouncing back and forth health wise. Then you go a game with no running backs. Now you got a new running back in there. You got to know how he blocks. The offensive line has been in shambles where they just, Garland playing center and not playing guard, and Brunskill playing guard and center. And, it's just, and that's what I was trying to ask earlier is I don't want to make an excuse, but is this a fact of realism that these guys aren't healthy and haven't played? It's already bad enough we had no preseason. Yet, let alone this was their first time on the field together.
I'm just now seeing that message. My bad, guys. No, but Nick, I'm not trying to listen. I'm not copping, please, and I'm not saying that the season is over either. Let me tell you why I'm not going to say the season over. Because 7 teams make the postseason now, not 6.
Yeah, it's extra wild
If
card.
it was 6, I would be super, super scared. Right now, I'm scared. I mean, I'm at a 60%, maybe 70. I'll be honest with you. I'm maybe 70 because looking at the schedule, it's only going to get harder. I think the easiest team on our next 5 games is probably either the Rams or the Saints, and that's because I don't believe in their defenses. You know what I'm saying? So maybe those are some get back games, but like right now, it's not looking good. I think we can make.
Though. That's the thing, Mike. Is like, yeah, the Rams and the Saints, right? But what do those 2 teams have? They have high-powered offenses. And if we can't score points, I mean, we haven't scored. Look, let's keep it real. I mean, obviously we've been injured, but offensively, we haven't scored a whole lot of points this year. So, like, this is where I said, like, this is where we go back to where it was the Jets and the Giants game, and we're like, this is crucial. You know, the Dolphins game, crucial. Like, we're going into a 7-game stretch where it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like,
the good thing about that, though, Nick, is at least we get to go on the road. And typically this team somehow finds a way to bind together and play on the road. So we got 2 of those games on the road, right? So it's possible they go into New England, do what they got to do, fly out to Seattle, do what they got to do, and try to string a couple of wins together. But let's start with next week. Let's start looking forward to hosting the Rams. You know this is going to come down to which coach is better, because that's what these coaches do. You know what I'm saying? Which coach can call the other coach or whatever or whatnot. Which players are going to go out there and execute it. You know, me just looking forward and giving some hindsight. I know we're stuck on this show. I mean, this week, which just happened, but I'm actually looking forward to the Rams game because I think that's a game where, you know, maybe Jimmy will be more healthy or whatnot, and we'll see some different things or some things that we thought we would see in this particular game to get him warmed up. Maybe this game for Jimmy, guys, was a game just to get him back into the football swing, and then I'm going to pull you out, and then next week you'll be the full go. I don't know.
And then the other thing with that is, you know, I said Kyle Shanahan isn't an aggressive play caller. I will give you this. He's usually aggressive against the Rams. After they embarrassed us at one time,
that's all
he tends to turn it up a little bit. Against that team, I think it's the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan competition.
I'm trying to tell you who could pee further. Yeah, man, that's what it is.
Yeah, so I think it could be that. Let's read this comment so we can get it off from Agent Moses' face here. Our players had a little taste of success and now are unfocused on Instagram, promoting their own clothing. Kyle needs to implement more discipline. So this is going to go back to this comment that Breezy made earlier. That I'm not going to lie. Don't take it personal, but it pissed me off with Eric Armstead at the presser and all that, right? So I don't think that's a problem.
Okay.
Instagram post takes 10 seconds to make. Going to a presser and explaining that your people are under attack, I don't have a problem with that. That's his platform.
I don't have a problem with it. I asked, was it a distraction?
Right. No. I know. I'm going to get there. Right. I don't have a problem with that. And despite what the idiots in the comments say, it's not even political. It's not political. Right. There's nothing political about saying a black person is less likely to do X, Y, and Z or get the opportunities. What does that have to do with politics, assholes? So if you think that's political, you're stupid. Okay, that's my take on that part. Is it a distraction though? I understand what you're saying. Is he putting in time to print these facts out and all that stuff, right? I don't think so. I think that these sites are readily available and he hits print. In fact, I know he hits. Y'all still got me?
You're here, but you're not moving.
I can hear you, but you're frozen a little bit.
All right. Well, while I'm frozen, I'll at least hear what I'm saying. While it's I never turned Wi-Fi on. That's why my 5G just ran out. I think I Wi-Fi on, so I'm going to glitch again. But y'all let me know when
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can still hear you. He throttled my man mid-sentence.
Yeah. So earlier on the show, Agent Mose, I asked the question about, or I brought up to the attention. Maybe you're good, Mike, too, by the way. But I'm just filling Mose in about Armstead and him using his platform. Is that a bit of a distraction, maybe to what his gameplay is? Is his focus maybe more on getting his message out, which is perfectly fine. I agree with it 100%. But on the
Right.
football field, I'm not seeing the production that I normally would see from an Eric Armstead. So that's why I asked that question, Mike. I'm sorry it
So
pissed you off, but that was the
no,
problem.
because I know how people are going to react. People are
Oh,
going to try to make it a political thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know people are going to try to make it a political thing and all that, but here's the truth. There's websites that just have all kinds of stuff listed with the stats that he reads before. He's literally going to those websites and printing it out because he's reading it off a piece of paper, or he's reading it from his phone on the website. It's not like he's making time to memorize these stats, practicing what he's going to say and all that. He saves it or bookmarks it, and then he just comes in and reads it, and then he says, okay, questions. And he never goes back to it. He does it in the first 30, 40 seconds of his presser, and then he gets back to business. And that's why I don't think it's a distraction. So I just want to be clear with my statement. I wasn't, and that's when I said, oh, so is being black a distraction? I wasn't saying that for real. It was tongue in cheek. I was being facetious. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a serious question. Obviously, being black is not a distraction, and I can't fault the man for trying to take his platform, his moment, and do something positive with it. I'm never going to say no. I know, but I'm saying I'm never going to say that's a distraction.
Right. Okay.
When you remember the during the Olympics and they put the fist in the air, and then all of a sudden that was banned. That's not a distraction. They won the gold, and then they put their fist in the air. You get what I'm saying? So no, I don't think that's a distraction. It was still on their minds. They said or did something about it, but no, it's not a distraction. So that's why I said it pissed me off, because I saw the comments immediately, and the comments more so than your question are what pissed me off. All right, so I just wanted to be clear there. I don't think that these guys promoting their personal brands is a distraction. I don't think these guys going on Instagram and just hit go live. You're just seeing what they're doing at the time. No, I don't think that they need to be more disciplined on the team and tell the players you can't do this and this while you're out. There's already rules and stuff like that set. They have curfews. Players, they don't just run around willy-nilly when they're away from the facility, especially during what's going on right now with this coronavirus and COVID-19. They don't have the same freedoms. So no, I don't think that the team needs to implement or be more strict when it comes to that. I'm responding to the comment that was up there now. All right. So Symmetry has a comment here also, and it says this season isn't over. However, have we not seen this before? I want to know what he's talking about.
Probably
I was confused about that too.
Probably the team struggle and then find ways to get better. I'm thinking that's where he's going with it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, me personally, I'm still confused as to, haven't we seen this before? Unless he's talking about another team. I haven't seen, this team, unless he's talking about past 49er teams. But I haven't seen this team come off of, a Super Bowl loss. And despite some injuries, still bring back the core of your team and look this bad this early. Just me personally, I haven't seen that.
Right. Right. And I do think that there is something to the young guys going to the Super Bowl and just assuming they're going to get back. I do think that there is something to that. When they talked about the Super Bowl hangover, there's just this complacency. We're already the good team. What we did was good enough, so we can just keep going. Wrong. What you did that worked last year is not going to work this year. They do have to work harder. They do have to get better. And I do think that young players in particular get complacent. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. That when they talk about the Patriot way, it's drilling into these guys, hey, we're 0-0. You're a nobody. It doesn't matter if we blow a team out or we get blown out. Now we're focusing on the next team. When Belichick goes to the press conference and they say, hey, what happened on this call? It doesn't matter. We're focused on Seattle. There's a reason he says that, because he wants that to be the mindset of his team. Whether they tell quarterbacks to have a short memory. You throw an interception, get over it, get back out there and play. You throw a touchdown, get over it, get back out there and play. There's a reason that they tell these guys those kind of things. None of that makes a difference. You enjoy it in the moment, and then you go back. You got 24 hours following the game to feel however it is you feel, and then we focus on the next team. I do think that there may be a bit of complacency in this team. This is new success for Jimmy Garoppolo. I know he's got Super Bowl rings, but he wasn't the starter. This is new success for Kendrick Bourne. This is new success for Raheem Mostert. This is new success for all of those guys. But their brands and the stuff that they tweet out or that they post on their Instagram, all that takes a second. They don't even put that stuff together. In fact, if you pay attention, most of the time, it's not even them holding their phones. It's not even them. They're not the ones holding their phones. It's somebody else holding their phones while they're out there doing whatever it is that they're doing. So that has nothing to do with them being distracted. All right. So that's my final thought. I'm going to shut up. Agent Mose. How do you say it?
It's, you got it right. It's Mose, because my last name is Mosley, so it's just
right.
Agent Mose.
Okay. All right. Well, you can come on here and vent now. And we did it. It's time for the giveaway. It's time.
That's why I was giving the touchdown.
It's time for the percolator. There's some positive after all, man. Let's go, baby. We in the 10K club on YouTube, baby. Let's go. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back to being depressed now. Go ahead, Agent Mose. It's on you, bro.
I mean, I've been watching the show since y'all came on. I probably echo a lot of the same sentiments that y'all already have. I think my biggest takeaway, I was talking to my cousin. He's a little older, a little wiser than I am. He's also a 49er fan. And for like 40 minutes, we just talked about Kyle and just his level of arrogance and cockiness. And you guys touched on it tonight already. He's so analytical and he thinks he's so intelligent, and he's the offensive guru, and he's the young guy with all the innovative ideas. And one of the things that I was talking about with my cousin is he thinks his game plan is so good that eventually it'll work. And it takes him too long to make adjustments to his game plan. He waits until halftime when you should be making adjustments on the second, third, fourth drives. And he thinks, well, all the players have to do is execute. All they have to do is execute. My plan is solid. I know this plan is going to work. If they execute it, then we'll be fine. And as long as they execute, eventually it'll work. Well, that's true to an extent. You put players on the field, they're supposed to execute. But as the coach and as the play caller, you have to put them in positions where they can succeed. And if what you're doing is not succeeding, it's not, let's just keep throwing something against the wall until it sticks. Let's change. Let's make something different. Let's do something different to kind of get a spark, to kind of energize. And we talked about, Nick talked about, are these guys gelling? Are these guys connected and together? I don't think so. I think this unprecedented season has a lot to do with that. You know, the shortened off season, not enough time in training camp. There are a lot of new guys here, a lot of rookies, a lot of different guys that we brought in. You know, like I said, the core of the guys are still here, but is it the same energy from last season? I don't think so. Is this that same cohesiveness that we saw last season? I don't think so. And I think that's hurting us a lot. It's a lot going on and something that I didn't expect from a team that was so good last year.
Can I question real quick? And I'm going to ask it to you, Marcus, and then everybody else can answer if they want. Is the core of the team still here? How many players make up a core, and are they still here? Because right now it's Jimmy, it's Kittle. Was Mostert considered a core player last year? I don't think he was.
I would say so.
He didn't become a core player until week 16, 17. And
last
into the
year?
Yeah, he wasn't
the main guy last year.
You know, it was
he got his first start this year.
No, not the main guy. And by core, I don't mean starters. I just mean people who contributed to the team. Now, of course, his load increased later on in the season, but I would consider Mostert core. I would consider McGlinchey core, Jimmy, Juice, Debo, Bourne, Kittle. I would consider all those guys core. On the defense, Tart, Ward, Sherm, Mosley, Akello, Warner, Alexander, Armstead, Greenlaw. I would consider all of those guys core.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's
So
good.
a majority of the players who were here last year and who contributed and played some type of meaningful football are still here. Did
But
we
I don't
lose
think that
some?
they're your.
Did we lose some extreme guys? Of course, we lost Buckner, we lost Staley. But who else would you consider core that
Well,
we lost?
I think core are people that are here for the next 3+ years, and not just because of rookie contracts. So, for example, you name Sherman, Mosley, Witherspoon. They're not locked up for the future. We don't know if they're going to be back. They can't be core players if they're not in the team's future. If they're not in the team's plans in the future, I don't consider them core players because of that. And so now
Right.
I'm because these guys have a different mindset also. If you're not going to lock me up and keep me here, or I know my future, I can't even play like I'm your core guy. If that makes any sense. So here, let me try to explain it a different way in case I lost people on that. I think Jimmy's contract says he's core, but there's also an out. And people are already saying today at halftime, maybe this is the last year for Jimmy Garoppolo. We heard it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? I think you and Breezy both said it, and you said it after you jumped in and didn't even know Breezy said it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is Shanahan trying to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Richard Sherman, I think that a large part of his absence maybe I don't know what my future is with this team. Why would I hurt myself? You know what I'm saying? I don't know that they think Witherspoon is part of their core. Where's his extension? I don't think that they think Mosley is part of their core. Where's his extension? Do we really believe that Trent Williams is part of the core? Where's his long-term contract? Right now, the core. Even isn't Juice a free agent this year also?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's the core of this team? Where are the people that are trying to say, hey, we got to do this because we're going to be here for the next couple of years? Where are those players? Who are those players? Fred Warner needs a contract extension. Listen, if this window right here closes, if we don't make the postseason this year, I have no idea how many of those players I just named are going to be back next year. Maybe none, except Kittle. Is Kittle the only one?
Kittle and Jimmy Ward.
Talk me off a cliff. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that there's core
I
players.
mean, that's your definition of core. You know what I'm saying? But what Marcus was talking about was you brought back the majority of the players that had success last year to this year's team, and that was your core for this year. Now going forward, that's a whole other conversation which you're getting into, and I totally get where you're going because I don't know who coming back. But what Marcus is saying is, look, man, we brought back the majority of the Super Bowl team. The majority of that team is here. So why are we struggling? You get what I'm saying? Like, why are we struggling? If we have the majority of the team, minus Buckner, minus Joe Staley, who else we missing? And minus Emmanuel Sanders.
Because they see what injuries can do. You saw what happened to Dak Prescott today. You saw what happened to Solomon Thomas. You saw what happened to Nick Bosa, right? These guys are also thinking about their futures. Why am I going to go out here and risk it all for a team that probably don't even believe me or won't bring me back?
And that right there, that's a tough mindset that's a tough pill to swallow, Mike.
I was going to say that too, Breezy. That throws me into a conundrum because it's like,
that's a tough.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, Mike. But at the end of the day,
they still football players.
This is football. This is what you do for a living. This is your livelihood.
Then if that's the case, why players playing, bro?
I understand you want to make money, and I understand you want to preserve the longevity of your life, one, and your career. You want to be able to play as long as possible. But at the end of the day, this is what you love to do. I'll tell you right now, if the cards and my deck of life were changed, I would be in the NFL. And yeah, I would want to get paid and I would want to be compensated for, what I contribute. But at the end of the day, I love the game so much. I want to play. I want to be in there. I want to ball.
I hear you. And it makes sense to a point. But let me use a player that I love on this team. And I'm going to use what the head coach said today. Kyle Shanahan, at the beginning of his presser, said the reason Witherspoon wasn't out there to start is because Spoon said he didn't want to play.
He said he wasn't 100% to go. That's what he said.
Shanahan said that Spoon said he wasn't ready to play yet because of the injury.
Wait,
so
that's
no,
different.
out there.
That
Was
is
he not
different.
ready to play, or did he not want to play? That's two different things.
He said he wasn't ready to play. He said Kyle said that Spoon said that I'm not 100% to go, but I'll suit up, and if you need me as an emergency, I got you, coach.
Now, does that sound like a core player to you?
No.
Don't worry, I'll wait. That's my point.
I mean, he's being honest. He's saying, "Listen, I'm not 100%, but if you need me, I'll go."
Okay, does that sound like a core player to you? Does that sound like a
no? And
bro,
that's why I got your argument.
We benched a captain today.
Okay.
Hear what I'm saying to you. We benched a captain today.
Of course,
it's only 5 or 6 of them on the squad.
But
one of them on the sideline. No, 2, 3. Isn't Bosa a captain?
I don't know.
No.
But where are you going with this?
How are they core players if they're not even willing to go out there and play?
So you're talking
nobody's 100% in the NFL. Can we agree on that first?
Okay, that's fine. But we're talking about a guy that just came back from a high ankle sprain, right? That's the captain you're talking about?
Well, that's Jimmy. Yeah.
Okay, so
what about
so they said they benched him. Well, at least a quote unquote Kyle benched him to preserve him. Whether you want to believe that or not, but that's what it was. So
is the captain just going to take that sitting down?
If he feels he's not unable to perform. I mean, we're talking about a different NFL too, Mike.
You can look at it both ways, Mike. I see what you're saying. There are some of the grittiest players in the NFL who played through a bunch. You know, guys who played through broken bones, all types of injuries, and they willed themselves to get through the game for their team.
But everybody different, bro.
So there is that example of dudes just saying, you know what, give me a shot, shoot me up with something, take me up, wrap it up. I'm going back out there no matter what. There are those guys. You just have those type of Iron Men dudes who play through it all. But then you have other guys who are coming off of injury. The other guys who are coming off of injury who aren't 100%, who want to play, but then they feel that they aren't 100%. And then in this particular game, if Kyle sees that Jimmy's not 100%, he can't throw off his back foot, he can't put too much pressure on that ankle to really drive his throws and get good zip and velocity, on top of your offensive line basically being invisible, then I think you make a smart business decision by getting him out of that game when you're already getting flooded. And then, like you said, Breezy, you preserve him for next week.
At least that's what it looked like to me. I mean, Nick, you even said he was throwing ducks.
I said that in the first quarter.
Right. Yeah.
I asked everybody, I'm like, what? Like, does anybody else notice that Jimmy Garoppolo is not throwing the football right? And nobody answered me. I'm just like,
because we were sitting there we were going through some stuff. Ain't nobody just trying to answer you.
No, I know, but I'm saying like it's like the shit was coming out of his hand just completely wrong. Like it was coming and it was just a straight flutter. It wasn't. There was no zip to it, no accuracy. Like you could tell that he was bothered by the ankle. And when he even came on his presser after the game, he's like, "I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it wasn't bothered. It was bothering me."
So
there were some throws that I couldn't make. He also said that him and Kyle Shanahan sat down and talked and said this was the best move for the team to go without him.
It's about to be on. Oh, I can't wait.
Did you send it to him?
Yep, I sure did.
I've been trying to have you check the private chat for like 25 minutes for it.
I'm on my phone, and so when you're on the phone, the chat box isn't up on the right side like it is on the computer.
Right, you gotta hit the comments and go in all that way.
Yeah, and so I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, guys. That's on me. I dropped the ball.
Yep, he just hit the wrong button.
He hit the wrong button on his phone.
But we're gonna be bringing on a guest, so
all right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you hit the wrong button.
Oh, you said who it was already?
No. I just said we're gonna be bringing on a guest.
Oh, okay.
Where
is this count as my phone a friend?
No,
No.
you
Oh,
wait.
get the fuck out of
Bro,
it. Yes, it does.
If you didn't
No,
answer
because
me,
we all knew it, bro.
No, it's my phone a friend because I did this. I secured this.
Fine, it's your phone and friend, Mike. Anyway, keep going, Nick.
I should just let it go and not told you, and then you would have never came on.
Now you're not being a team player, bro. That's not cool.
Sounds like the 49ers. But Nick, finish, please.
Yeah, but no, for real though, like, you know, Kyle and Jimmy, when Jimmy talked in his presser, he said that me and Kyle talked about this, and this was the right move, basically.
For him to start?
For him to come out.
Oh, to come out the game.
To come out the game.
So they had a conversation.
Okay. Yeah, they had a conversation. So it was like, okay, I'm not.
So you're saying Jimmy was willing to go, but then the coach was like,
while he said he wants to be out there with his team, he was definitely hurting his team being out there.
Yes, that's what I said. So he was trying to be the Iron Man, but the coach recommended that you come out the game or whatnot.
Right.
It'd be best for the team.
Okay. So listen, we all played sports. I don't care if it's
it's different, man. You just said it was different. You just said cats playing for money and this and that, and it just makes decisions different.
You ain't even hear my thought yet. You ain't hear my thought yet. What I'm saying is this: we've all played sports at a competitive level, right? I don't care if it's high school. I don't care if it was, Pop Warner. We all played sports at a competitive level. How did you feel when you were in a slump? I don't care if it's basketball, right? Sometimes you just need to get one to drop, and I know I can turn this shit around. I'm not going to the sideline and to be like, hey, okay, cool. I don't work. Who operates like that, bro?
Was this a slump or was this injury, Mike? We can't tell.
He wouldn't have been okay.
It looked like a slump.
Before we move on, let's get our guest up in here.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna bring him in right now. ED, what's up, man?
What's going on, ED?
What's happening?
He's in the building.
What's happening?
I want to let you know.
I need to learn. I need to learn, like, to put my handle up there and all this stuff. You guys, I see that. I'll figure that out next time. I don't know. But anyway. Okay, here we go. What was that? My bad. Let me cut this TV down, man. I'm sitting here watching Seattle. That is a god awful uniform they're wearing.
That is, yo.
That's nasty. That's just stank nasty. Anyway, okay, here we go.
Look, my highlighters.
Question. Oh no, hold on. We gotta drop Tony out. Tony got to fix the audio first, bro. Fix your cord, Tony. All right, so we're right now what we're discussing is coming out of a game. They just said that Jimmy and Kyle spoke and said that it was the best thing. Jimmy agreed or said that it was the best thing for him to come out of the game. Now, you played with some phenomenal players. You are a phenomenal player yourself. Did you ever want to come out of a game even if you were struggling? No,
you fix it. Fix it. I don't know if you saw any of my tweets, but you saw where I put out there, no one's coming, man. That's the thing you got to, no one's coming. And by that, and when I meant by that, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to fix it. No one's coming to pacify your feelings. No one's coming to say it doesn't matter. You are out there in the arena, and guess what? You live or die by your actions, and you can't wait for somebody to say it's okay. Nobody's coming. That's what you signed up for. I played with one guy that asked to come off the field. And from that point on, everybody kind of looked at it like this guy's got to go.
I'm confused.
Now, I want all y'all to tell Eric he was wrong because he just said the same shit
That's not what I said. I said that Kyle suggested that he came out. So Jimmy agreed. That's what we just said.
But hold on, son.
And I said, what captain leader is going to agree to that? That's what my question was.
But hold on. See, so now I'm going to go back to it. This is the other thing. If you're suggesting that he comes out, like, why do you suggest? I'm the coach. I don't have to suggest that you come out. Like, look, you're out there looking like boo-boo. You got to go. You got to get off the field because right now, you know what you're doing right now? You're messing with my money. You do realize that, like George Seifert used to tell us, we used to laugh at it all the time. George Seifert would, because all the DBs, when we would stretch, everyone would be back, but the DBs were always over in the back right corner. That's where we all stretched. And George would never, And, he's an old school DB coach, and George would never really mess with us. But then he'd walk through there every now and then, and he would just look at us, and he would always say this: I cannot believe that the livelihood of my family depends on you guys.
Oof.
And he'd walk away.
That's deep.
And by that, I mean, he was always joking because he felt comfortable with us, but that's what Kyle is at. My livelihood depends on you performing. I'm not going to ask you, how do you feel about coming off the field if you are sucking? You got to go. It's that simple. He wasn't playing well. So now it goes back, and everybody kind of looked at me cross-eyed when Mullins was moved after his bad performance to the third string position. And I said, that says, for me, what I put out there to the world, I said, this right here says more to me about Kyle's decision-making as opposed to Mullins' play. Because you are the guy that evaluated him for years now. You are the guy that had the entire preseason with this guy. You had the entire camp with this guy. You decided that he was the best option to win football games if your quarterback went down. We know how important that position is. And it took one bad day for you to say, oh, hell, throw that away. One day? Dude, we're talking about $1 billion company. One bad day, and you're like, wait a minute, all the evaluation I've been putting in this for years, that was it? So you mean to tell me this guy's got to be perfect? Because if he's got to be perfect, he shouldn't even be on the squad. If the line was that thin, why should he be there? So now back to Jimmy today. If you are looking at this and you're like, I'm not sure, why was he on the field?
Right.
If you're like, he can't protect himself, why was he out there in the first place? And that's what when I looked up and I was just like, oh, what? Quarterback change. I'm like, there's a quarterback change. I'm like, oh, hell, come on. Because, guys, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. Remember, everybody has gone crazy about things. Last year was a really good year. You do realize the coach, I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a smart guy. I like him a lot. But you do realize he has a losing record as a head coach.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make certain that he's not Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett is a very good coach when he has his front end guys. Jason Garrett is not even a dude. He's not even an average coach when his guys went down. And when he lost his front end guys, Jason Garrett could never figure out how to win a game without his front end guys.
You said before that Jason Garrett was tied to his quarterback. Is it more than just the quarterback?
Yes. Well, this is what I'm going to look at right now. Offensively, weren't we all talking about you're getting everybody back? You had Raheem, you had the speed, you had BA out there, you got Debo out there, you had Kittle out there. I know you're still moving in some influx with the offensive line, but you still have pretty much everybody. You got guys that can play. You had your starting quarterback out there, and you can't get in the end zone. Dude, everyone's beating up the defense. And yeah, it was a bad day, and you're going to have you play 16 games, you're going to have a bad day. But they haven't scored more than 20 points at home. At home. Hey, wait, you have an offensive head coach. He's the play caller. He's the guru. He just got the new deal. You extend him because he's the wizard. And now, all of this being said, understand this. I like him. I think he's smart. I think he's innovative. But what's the excuse on offense? Why can't you score? This team, everyone's saying this team went to the Super Bowl last year because of the defense. Let me explain something to you. Everyone always talks about defense wins championships. You do realize the team that scores the most points wins the championship, right? The team that scores the most points wins the game, okay? And at the end of the day, the 49ers were averaging 30-something points last year, right?
Yeah, 31.3.
Right now, thank you. You give me 30 points a game, I got a shot. I got a shot. The defense, you can't be losing. You can't be losing. Like last week, they lost to Philly. The defense gave up 18 points. You're not supposed to lose that game. You give up 18 points at home, you're supposed to win that game. So, I'm going to be quiet. I'm getting on here. I'm monopolizing all the time.
I was saying that to Mike earlier is like, because he was like, there's two teams that I'm not really worried about in the Rams and the Saints, right, Mike? That's who it was? Rams and the Saints? You're on mute.
The Rams and you're saying you're not worried about them.
I think Mike, that's what I'm asking you. What was your quote that you said? You're on mute.
You're still on mute, Mike.
My bad. I said that.
Mike,
my
you
bad.
realize
I said
I can't read your lips, man. I can't. Yeah, I know they're all
my bad. That's my fault.
And stuff, but we can't read them.
He called my voluptuous. All right, I'm saying that the Rams and the Saints
and stuff. But go ahead. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Those two teams give up a lot of points to defenses.
Right.
And that's why I said I feel like we have some hope in those games.
And then that's when I responded. I said, well, we have to score more than 20 points to beat that team because they're a high-powered offense. So if we can't score, that's where our issue is right now.
Yes. You got to, dude. I can tell you right now, if you're not getting, and this is when I was playing, and the rules have gotten more lax, and it makes it more difficult to play defense now. If you can't give me 3 scores a game, it's hard to win. Give me 24 points, and defensively, you got to give me 24 points. I did, and I can beat anybody. If you give me 3 scores, if you can give me 3 touchdowns, because I know from if you get the best defense in the league, you still know the best defense. I played on number 1 defenses. I played on defenses that were like top and third downs. Quarterback. Any stat that matters. Turnovers. Every one of those stats that were important to defense, I played on a team that at some point did that. But the thing about it, I know no matter what, no matter how good my defense is, the dudes I'm playing against, they get paid too. And at some point, they're going to have a solid drive. And you figure, even the coaches, like, we know they're going to have one solid drive where everything goes perfectly in the first half, one in the second half. You know that's going to happen. You know that they're going to have 2 perfect drives a game, period. So you got to give me 3 scores offensively. We're going to try to give you a short field. We're going to try to give you a turnover. We're going to do these things. And when we give you that, you got to capitalize on it. That's how you have good football teams. Now, when you got that offense that can just go in like they did last year, I mean, they were putting points up. Then there you go. When you're in Kansas City, someone asked me yesterday, like, the best teams in the league, and I didn't throw Kansas City out there, and they were like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Well, you asked me what were the 3 best teams in the league," and I said, "I don't think Kansas City is one of the 3 best teams in the league." And I gave them the reason why. But I was like, you're if you want to talk about best offenses and who can score, I was like, okay, I'll give you that. They can do that, and that covers up for a whole lot, and that's where Kansas City is. They can cover up, but I told them yesterday the same thing I saw today. I said, you guys do realize the 49ers gave you a formula on how to beat Kansas City. Right. And you got to have balls to do it. And it happened today. You just got to have the balls to say, we're going to beat up your quarterback. I have yet to see the dude that likes to get hit in the beak, man. Nobody likes getting hit in the beak. None of them. None of the good quarterbacks, because they're not used to it. But all right, I'll be quiet again, man. I'm gonna drink my wine.
I got one question real quick though, and it was to go back a little bit to where you were talking about, the Nick Mullins thing. Like, he has one bad game and then bang, he's done. He's not active. He's not there. Let's move on to CJ Beathard. Do you think that Kyle Shanahan is loyal, like has too much loyalty to certain players that he's brought in, as in that tenure, like with him, with CJ Beathard and things like that, do you think Kyle Shanahan has a lot of loyalty to certain players and doesn't move on from them, as in, whether they're going to hurt the team or not?
I think every coach is that way. Remember, coaches are just human. Coaches are just human beings. So if you're talking about, is he loyal? If you're talking, and I know you're talking about, is Kyle too loyal to his guys? That's a good thing. Yes, it can be a bad thing. But that loyalty can also help a player develop. That loyalty can also get a guy through a bad spell. And that's just how it is. Human beings like different human beings. You guys are all doing this show because you're boys. You're not gonna put somebody on there you're not boys with. That's just the way. That's just how it is. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, and nor do I think Kyle's doing anything that any other coach doesn't do. Now, what I do know from being around his dad is that the Shanahan doghouse is legendary. Dude, once you're in it, you may never get out. You may never. When they like you, they like you. When you get in that doghouse, man, you may as well be in the dungeon. And that's how his dad was. It was hard to get out. So I don't know if it's a bad thing, because, like I say, I know some guys that if a coach had not liked him, I'll give a perfect example. Steve Smith, the receiver, remember, from the Carolina Panthers.
Hell yeah!
If the coach was on the practice squad, Steve Smith was the guy he was there. Smitty was there because a coach liked him. The only reason, because the coach liked him. Smitty was getting in trouble. He was fighting guys. He was all this. Smitty and I'd be over talking to him. We'd be at lunch, and I'm just like, dude, you just got to focus. You just got to do it. It was a completely different guy, but he hung around because a particular coach, believed that he saw something in him and that he could be a player. Like, if you guys just let him channel that and focus it on the field, he'll be okay. Dude's going to be in the Hall of Fame because a coach was doing what Shanny is doing. Yeah, coach liked him. So I mean, I don't know if I can't say it's a bad thing. Every coach does it.
Right.
Well, Beathard ain't gonna be in the Hall of Fame, but I got two questions for you. One of them is here from the comments here. It's a paid contribution, symmetry. He says, "Edie, do you think Kyle will be better off giving up play calling duties to another coach? Better yet, do you think he's willing to?" But before you answer that one, you should. I hope you do. I don't know what you're sipping on over there, but hopefully you remember Seifert benched Young for Garbeck.
Red wine, bro.
Oh, it's just some one. Okay, all right. At least it's not a pina colada. That's your boy's drink, Rashawn.
Go, come on, milk, Similac.
But
anyway,
how do you think that like do you think this is a similar situation to when Seifert benched Steve Young for Elvis?
No, because you started off discussing it, saying that first of all, you said that Jimmy Polo agreed, right? Steve
That's what they said. I didn't hear that. They said that.
I what's that now? What's that?
I didn't hear that, but they said that Jimmy and Shanahan had a conversation.
Okay. So, well, I don't know how it went down, but I this is what I do know. In that situation, Steve Young, and this is why I kind of took pause when I saw him getting benched. Steve was like, look, yeah, we're getting our butt kicked. I mean, that was a 40-8 game at home against Philly. And we were all like, what the hell? We just got our ass handed to us. And Steve was like, look, I'm sneaking it up, so let me take the L with everybody else. I know what it tastes like. let me finish eating this L like everybody else. So you take me out of the game. It's almost like you're saying there's no chance in hell we go fix it with you. It's my fault. And he took it personally, as he should have. And he was ready to fight. So this is one where I don't know if it's the same. It was, and that's how I viewed it today as well. I'm like, why are you taking Jimmy out? Why does Jimmy get to come out? Everybody else got to eat this L. Everybody else has to suffer through it. I'm gonna make you suffer through it too. And that's what Steve wanted to suffer through it with his guys, which is why we kind of respected him so much for that. We wanted him. We liked the fact that he was like, I don't want to avoid this. I'm supposed to be here trying to dig out of this hole with the guys, and that's so I don't know how this is all going to play out. Now, also the difference is you got to realize too, that was our front end talent getting their ass handed to them. There were no excuses. There was no this guy's hurt and that guy's on IR and all these things. It was like, okay, we went out, we had a bad day, we played like crap. Let's own it, let's wear it, let's fix it. No one's coming. Okay, no one's coming. And that's so I want to see what's going to happen with these guys, man. I want to see how they're going to play it and where they're going to go. There's enough time in the season. You just lost 2. Win 3 games in a row. Everything will taste better. Get some guys.
So
back,
do you think we need
to taste better? We'll see.
Do you think we need an offensive play caller?
Go ahead. Okay. Oh, that was part of that question, dude. Kyle's a play caller. I don't think that there is an issue. I don't think there's an issue with Kyle's play calling. No, that is so funny how winning and losing changes everyone's perspective. Nobody questioned his play calling last year.
Yeah.
And that's fair. So we had this discussion earlier about whether or not Kyle Shanahan was aggressive enough. I think we lost ED. Let's wait for him. I think it's a signal thing. Can you still hear us, ED? No?
Hello?
All right. Oh, we hear you. We don't see you.
I got you.
All right.
Can you
so
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I don't know what happened. I don't know if your signal went out or what, but your camera's off. So the question that we were talking about was whether or not Kyle Shanahan was aggressive enough. It seems like he comes out with a game plan and he sticks with it even when he falls behind. And maybe it's time to scrap it. And he doesn't give up on the play calling or the game plan soon enough. Do you think that's a fault that he has? And do you think that's something we can improve?
I think that can all be adjusted. I think that that's okay. I think you see a lot of that. I mean, you saw that defensively today. Where coaches have a game plan and they have it for a reason, and they start to try and set things up based on what they've seen and they believe in. I think Cal has made enough adjustments in season, and I've seen him do that. I saw him take the ball out of Garoppolo last year. If you remember, I think it was the first game. Yeah, it was the first game against Seattle. Garoppolo was playing like crap. I guarantee you the game plan was not to allow Garoppolo to not throw the ball over the middle of the field, because that's where he throws the ball. But Garoppolo was throwing the ball to Seattle so often that Kyle took the ball out of his hand. He changed the game plan. I've seen him do it. So I don't think he sticks with it too long. I think there are times what's being missed is that players aren't executing. And I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that across the board. I've seen a lot where guys are. Did I just hear somebody knock on the door? Well, maybe not. I've seen a lot of it where guys are it seems like his game plan isn't working. It seems like it's not working, but it's not because of the play selection. It's not because of the game plan. It's because of the execution of the player. So no, I don't think Kyle is stubborn to a point to where he's like, I'm this genius and I'm right. I think he tries to move things around. I see you think that, huh? That's what you think. I don't think he's that dude.
No, I don't see the changes happening soon enough. Like, okay, so when I'm talking about Kyle, I'm talking about him as a head coach also, right? Like, why not get away from the single high? Why not put help over Allen, number 48? Why not give him help? He was getting burned all night long.
Wait, hold on. Now we're talking. There's a difference between Kyle Shanahan, the play caller, and his game plan, and Saleh. That's a completely different thing. I put that one on Saleh.
But doesn't Kyle
because
override?
remember,
Exactly.
well, Kyle overrides that, but remember this. Kyle overrides that. Yes, he's the head coach, but you do realize he's also the play caller. So when things are happening, when the defense is out there doing their thing, Kyle is working with his quarterbacks. He's working with his offense. He's trying to do those things.
Okay.
So that's what makes it a difficult job, being the head coach and the play caller, because you put that trust in you put that trust in your defensive coordinator. And remember, that defensive coordinator had the number 2 defense in the league last year. So you put that trust in him. So Kyle is not there managing play by play, series by series, down by down the defense. That's not his job. Now, technically, he's the CEO, and as the CEO, now listen, no, Mike, listen, as the CEO, he has to delegate certain things, and he has delegated that coordinator to put in a certain game plan, which is agreed upon during the week. Now, you also have to make adjustments. So this is the thing. This is the thing. If you can't be in position to fix that, or if the guy that you have given that control to isn't doing the job, you got to make changes. So either you give up the play calling, which I don't think you do, or you got to change something around the defensive play calling. It's one of the two. Something has to change. But Saleh calls the defense. Kyle doesn't call the defense.
I get that.
He doesn't.
Whose role is it to say this guy starts and this guy doesn't?
Kyle's.
Well, that's going to be a community decision. Now, that's going to be a community decision. That's going to be what position are we talking about? Offensive defense.
We're talking about on the defense, right? We're talking about on the defense.
Okay, on the defense. So on the defense, what's going to happen? On the defense, it's going to start. This is how it's going to start. It's going to start with the position coach. So you tell me, what position are you talking about?
So we're talking about Brian Allen.
Talking about?
We talk about the
Brian Allen should not have been in there for as long as he was tonight. He should have been pulled. He should have been pulled on the second or third series of the game.
Hold on. Now wait. Hold on. Now let me explain to you why he wasn't. No, he shouldn't have been pulled. The defense should have been changed, and I'll tell you why he shouldn't have been pulled. The reason he shouldn't have been pulled is the same thing that you were saying about Garoppolo. If you're injured, you shouldn't be playing. If I don't think you can do the job, you shouldn't be playing. Witherspoon has a bad hamstring. They did not want him to play because his hamstring is not right. And if he goes out there and you tweak it, now you got another 4 or 5 weeks that you're still in this same situation with an Allen plan. So he couldn't play. So that's why he's playing in the first place, because if Spoon was ready to go, whatever you feel about Spoon, he's better than Allen. That's why Allen has been on his couch. That's why Allen's on the practice squad. Spoon's better than him, but he wasn't ready to go. So you don't want to put him out there. So now what happens, and this is what I said during the deal, you look at Allen, you see what's going on. Regardless of what your game plan is, now I know what you're doing because we're into it. A few series. I got to roll my defense. I got to adjust. I can't leave this kid out on his own because they're picking on him and he can't handle it. but I can't expect him to handle it. And because everyone's like, oh, he sucks, he's this, and all the kind of stuff I was seeing on social media. I'm like, dude, you guys do realize this is like he's a 6'7" guy. He's not an NFL corner. He's not ready to play. I don't expect him to do that job. I don't expect him to win one-on-one battles because he's not that dude. He's really not ready, and it's not his fault that he's in that situation.
That's fair.
Okay, I hear you, right? And I agree to you to an extent. Here, I guess this is the question. After how many points and penalties given up should Shanahan have said, hey, do something about that guy, or send protection over there? See, the problem we're trying to compare with the Seifert days because Seifert was a defensive guy. So I think he had his eye on that still. You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to figure out, because we saw in the first three series, Allen was a liability. Everybody and their mom saw that. Allen knew it. Allen went to the sideline wiping tears out of his eyes because he knew what he was costing this team in that moment. How you don't think that Shanahan should have ever said, "Hey, Saleh, do something"?
What can I tell you something?
Absolutely.
So that is a complete assumption that he didn't say that. So that's what you're doing. That's a complete assumption that Shanny didn't say. Okay, we gotta fix this. We gotta protect it. You see that? See, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't another body to put out there. There was
Webster.
But you didn't take him out because there was no healthy body to put out there. You see, now you're assuming that he believes that Webster can play. See, so now see, now you're going back to what I said. This is what I'm saying. Saleh, the guy in charge of your defense that you trust with your defense, you now have to look at that and say, this is what they're doing. I have to make them beat somebody else. I'm going to roll these coverages, even if I don't roll the coverages. I remember when I was playing with the Carolina Panthers. There was a time, and I did it myself. I came to the sideline, and we were playing the Eagles, and they were just picking on my guy Tyrone Poole that was playing the other corner. And I told my head coach to let the coordinator know, who was Vic Fangio, head coach of it was Dom Capers was the head coach, and Vic Fangio is the head coach of Denver right now. I told him, I said, tell Vic to don't say a word to T Poole, but let the safety go over the top of him. They're working on him. Just leave me on my own. You got it. If you can't switch the defenses, if you don't have it in the playbook this week, we have to make some adjustments. So whenever you have a safety, let him help this other dude and leave me on my own. And those are the type you got to make some type of adjustments when you know they're picking on somebody. It's just that simple. So
right. So
I'm not going to assume, but that's the question. The assumption can't be that this Kyle didn't say don't do anything.
So you think Kyle said something and then Saleh said, yeah, no, I'm not going to put a safety on his side? He got beat all night long in one-on-ones.
I don't think
all night long.
I find it hard to believe that Kyle didn't see what we saw. Because realize that you are an offense. It's always funny. It's like when you always see the announcers and all the commentators. They always want offensive guys to talk about offense and defensive guys to talk about defense. Well, you do know as a defensive player, all I ever do is study offense, right? I know what you're supposed to do on offense. And I'm saying that to say Kyle Shanahan, all he does is study defenses. He can look at a defense and say, wait a minute, that's a huge hole right there that I would attack. So I know they're attacking it. So I have to believe that he is getting on his headset saying, dude, you got to fix that, because he sees it. So now back to the guy that you put in charge of your defense. You have to do something. It's the same reason why O'Brien. So look at it this way. When asked, why did O'Brien get fired in Houston after 4 games? Well, Bill O'Brien, the GM, wasn't doing his job, because the long-term good of the GM is, we all know, that is the good of the GM is to take care of the long-term good of a team, to draft to trade, to get contracts set up, all these things so that you can work well down the road. The job of a head coach is to win right now. So when you've traded away your draft picks, you got rid of your best wide receiver, and as a GM, that's not good. You don't have the next 2 years, you don't have a first round pick, and then you're 0-4 as a head coach. Neither one of you guys are doing your job. So I got to fire somebody. And that's where Kyle is right now. So Kyle is looking at it offensively.
John Lynch is in trouble.
No, I don't think. Well, John Lynch is not in trouble because they just gave him a new deal. So I don't think John Lynch is in trouble, and none of them are in trouble. And this is why they're not in trouble. None of the top end guys aren't healthy. They're not healthy. So no one's in trouble. No one's in trouble. Who do you think? Who's in trouble?
Okay.
Who's in trouble?
All right. So let me explain it from my standpoint. Well, I'm gonna try to break it in.
Okay,
because
go ahead, explain this.
Next year, there's no Sherman, there's no Mosley, there's no Witherspoon. Right, as of right now, there's not even a Fred Warner. Right, these guys are all in the contract years.
Fred has
okay.
Fred has another year.
Hold on. Fred's not going anywhere. They're going to sign.
Okay, yeah, Fred has one more year, but that entire secondary is missing right now.
They'll sign Sherm. Well, they'll sign Sherm if they want to, and I still hope they move him to safety. They'll sign Sherm if they want to sign Sherm. We'll see how E-Man's going to be when he gets out of protocol and what he's going to develop into, because everyone's forgotten about him, and I still haven't given up on Spoon. I think Spoon.
Neither have I.
He just got to get out of his head.
I'm the biggest Spoon supporter in the world, I promise you. But there's also more. Now that's on the defensive side, okay? That's just we have to figure out what we're going to do on the offensive line also. Trent Williams got a 1-year deal here. He doesn't have an extension, and he's not even playing like the guy we thought we were going to get. I know everybody loves Trent Williams, and they say he's this all-pro guy, but Trent Williams is in trouble. Our center position can't stay healthy. I haven't seen
playing back.
I haven't seen him in 17 years. I don't know what's going on with Laken Tomlinson. People are questioning Mike McGlinchey's ability. There's too many holes to fill, and we traded away all those draft picks also. What do the Niners have, 4 or 5 picks next year? So someone's got to be on the hot seat here. We can't just keep running and saying, oh, everything's going to be okay. This is the window, and it's not looking good right now. Someone's got to be feeling some heat. I'm asking you, who is that person?
No one's under heat right now. There is no fire under anyone's feet, because if all of this was happening, if the Niners had lost these games in the exact same fashion and Bosa was on the field, who got hurt? Not Armstead. Who got hurt?
Ford.
Greenlaw. I can't think of his name. Other D lineman that got hurt.
Greg Greenlaw.
Solomon Thomas or Greenlaw. Ford. Solomon
Thomas. Yeah. If Solly was out there, if Debo hadn't missed time, if BA hadn't missed time, if Garoppolo hadn't missed time, if Molson hadn't missed time. First of all, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the other thing. The offensive line is going to be and you saw it in flashes today. This offensive line is so much better, and they were so much better last year because of the speed of this offense. It's a zone stretch offense, and you need speed at the running back position. What that speed does, so this is what I'm going to tell you. When you have speed at the running back position, what it does, the second level of the defense, when you know that you got to get to you're a linebacker or you're a safety dropping down to that second level, and you have run gap responsibility, and you see these guys going wide, moment when you know you got sprinter speed, the moment you see them stretching, you're taking off going east and west, which is why all of those crossing routes and mid-direction stuff is wide open, because these guys are taking off the moment you get that read to go, they're going. Without that speed at the running back position, the offensive design doesn't work. And remember, guys, every system has a way to be successful. There are a lot of different systems in this league, but there are certain things that you have to have to be successful. They had all the pieces healthy. They don't have those right now. So you're not going to kill. I'm going to tell you right now, nobody. Now you will get on Robert Saleh today. I guarantee you in that meeting, John Lynch is going to say, you can't do that. You can't leave that kid out. You can't leave Allen out there like that. You got to make that adjustment quicker. But nobody is going to say, Robert Saleh, you're fired because the 8th string corner couldn't play. He wouldn't be on an NFL roster if the other guy. So think about it. He wouldn't be on the roster. This is what you guys got to. So you got to look at that. You got to be realistic about it. There are guys playing on this football team and that have played for the Niners wearing the colors this year that would not be in the league if guys were healthy. And that's
Mr.
why
Davis,
no one's on the hot seat.
You came on, and within your first 10 minutes, you said you dispelled the whole defenses win championships because whoever scores the most points wins. You're telling me that you think this offensive line played well today? There's no way. There's no way. There's 6 people on the panel,
but I also
and I can promise you,
but
nobody
hold
feels
on,
like.
listen to me.
Go ahead.
Hold on, listen to me though. But listen to me. I also told you. Remember, I told you you're gonna have a bad day. Everyone's gonna have a bad day. No one expects anyone. You hope it happens. Listen to me. Listen to me. You hope it happens, but no one. Because now we're talking about hot seat. We're talking about firing guys. This is what we're talking about.
Yes.
So now listen to what we're talking about. This is a completely different conversation. So did the guys? Am I trying to say they played well today? Heck no. Does any? That's why I went back. Remember, I said why did Mullins get benched off of one bad day? It makes me question things. No one is going to have a perfect 16 games. The guys that are voted all pro this year will not have 16 perfect games.
I get that, but through 5
it just
games,
doesn't happen. Because you're playing
understand
against
that.
foes. You're going to have a bad day.
Yes, right. 1, 2, 3, hell, 4 bad days.
And through 5,
but
I'll tell
through
you
5 games, we have allowed the most quarterback hits of any team in the entire NFL.
I think that has to do. I think that has to do with a lot of like.
But wait, hold on, Mike, hold on, Mike, go. That has, and that also has to do with the guy that's holding the ball. That has to do with the guy who's pulling the trigger. Because I guarantee you, we could sit down with a clicker. I can sit down with you guys in front of. Let's get the film. We pull out the all 22. I can show you why it wasn't the offensive line's fault. Why it was the quarterback's fault. Look at this. Let me tell you this, Mike. It's this simple. If I'm the quarterback and I come to the line of scrimmage and I'm looking, because remember, the quarterback's job is to set the line protection and to change the play to put us in the best position to win. If I come to that line of scrimmage and I look at what's happening, what's about to happen, and I read this defense, and I'm saying right now, okay, we are in a 50 protection, and I see that there are 6 guys coming. Okay. If I don't change that play, then there are 2 things that can happen. I can get hit in the beak, or I can beat the blitz. It's on me. Because those offensive linemen, they're looking at it too. And they're like, wait a minute, we got 6 guys coming. We got 7 guys coming. But you just called 53, and wait a minute, we don't have enough guys to block. I need you to change this protection. I need you to keep Kittle in on this one. So if you don't do that, that's on the quarterback to beat the blitz. So if you get hit, everyone says the offensive line is not protecting. That's not his fault.
Okay, 4 times tonight we saw 8+ men in the box, and not one time was there enough men there to cover what was going on. Not one. You're telling me that? See, okay, so a conversation that we had early in the show was
that's completely on the quarterback.
But if wait. So normally I would agree with you, but this was the conversation that we had early in the show. We don't believe we came to a consensus here. It was myself, Breezy, and Nick. Okay, the guys up in the corner. Okay, We had this conversation. I'm not sure Kyle Shanahan gives those quarterbacks that kind of freedom to change the play. I think Kyle Shanahan calls 2 plays and they go to the line, and if the play looks good, okay, cool. If not, they say, what's the word? Breezy, give me the word. Nick, one of y'all know the word.
Can.
That's it. It's a freaking can. When Colin Kaepernick was here and Alex Smith was here, it was kill. Now it's can. But it's only 2 plays. We didn't see them adjust anything all night long. They called an all-out blitz so many times tonight, and it was just allowed to happen. I don't think these guys have the freedom to make those kind of play calls at the line.
Listen to what I said. But so listen to what I said. So now it's either change the protection to keep more guys in. You got to go to 60 or 70 protection to keep guys in to keep you from getting hit in the face so that you have enough bodies to protect, or you have to beat the blitz with your arm. So if you don't so let's just say you only have 5 guys. You got the center, the guards, and the tackles blocking, and they are sending 7 guys, 8 guys. You know what that means? They don't have enough guys in coverage, which means somebody is butt naked. So if the quarterback, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, if the quarterback decides to not change the coverage, or even if you don't have a play to change the coverage, you know that somebody's wide open and you throw the ball. That's why that hot route, that's it. You hit the hot guy. He's wide open. There's nobody there to cover it. And it's a long handoff. You get it out of your hands right now. And if the quarterbacks aren't doing that, that's not the offensive line. So that's what I keep trying to say. When everyone's like the offensive line is playing like crap and the most hits, that's why, Mike, you've heard me say it before. I say it again. Numbers lie, man. Numbers lie. Yeah, that doesn't mean that the offensive line sucks. That means that the quarterbacking is sucking.
Right. Okay, so we're on the same page. I promise you. I agree with everything you just said. But I want to know why these quarterbacks see it. We see it before the snap also at home. And they don't get out of that play. They call can, and there's still not enough protection there. So that has me wondering if Kyle says you can only do one of 2 things. That's what has me wondering whether or not if it's just these 2 plays and that's it. Because there's no way that quarterbacks don't see it, and they never audibled out of it. We saw the pressure.
Mike,
we saw the guys cheating up, the safeties coming up, the corner. Right? So it just drives me crazy that everybody at home sees an all-out blitz coming. Like, look, I play Madden. Rarely, but I play Madden, right? It looked like punt block formations, bro. Like, it looked like 1 safety in the back and 1 guy on the outside, and they were just bringing the house. And 9 guys were running in, and you only got 6, maybe 7 guys to protect. And boom, C.J. Beathard got killed. Jimmy Garoppolo almost had his spleen separated tonight. And it was like, how do you not see that when everyone else sees it? I'm just curious, and I'm not attacking your. Please trust me. I would never question your intellect or your football knowledge.
Well, first of all, Jimmy. What? No. Jimmy got hit. Jimmy got hit. The protection was there. He got hit when the tight end just missed the block. He got drilled, and the protection was there. The guy just was physically beaten. That's a thing that's going to happen. So it wasn't about protection.
Yeah,
and then a lot of the other times you're talking about what's going. Yeah. I mean that wasn't a lack of protection. The protection was there. He just didn't make the block. So there was nothing wrong with the play call or the protection from the quarterback. The guy was physically.
What about Kittle's play?
Beaten. That's going to happen. Remember, the other guys get paid too. Okay, but now see, this is the other thing that I got to say is that you do realize, this is what I'm talking about. You do realize, just like we were talking about Allen, these are backup quarterbacks. There are reasons why they're backups. They don't see everything. They don't know everything. They get flustered at times. They miss things. That's why they're backups. That's why I'm saying these guys aren't, when everyone's Mullins a franchise quarterback and Jimmy's overpaid and all this stuff. Guys, there's more to it than just a pretty ball. It's getting in the right play. It's staying calm. It's setting the protection. It's getting the ball out on time. It's knowing that the play that I was just called and even what we worked on, because sometimes, Mike, is this too. In this defense that I'm facing, these are the plays that we have to work against them. Sometimes, you know what happens during the week? You didn't have anything prepared for that. You truly don't have a play to go to. It happened to us on defense where you would come in and they would come out in a formation or with a personnel grouping and you have nothing to go to. So what you have to do is get to the best thing you think you can be in and survive down. When you have backups in those situations, good luck. And that's what they've been dealing with. That's why these guys aren't the first line guys. They're not prepared for those situations. They're not prepared to survive the down. And it can get ugly.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I'm going to shut up. I don't want to be the only one talking to you tonight. I'm going to give it to everybody else. Let me see what everybody else is thinking, man. Tony just jumped in. He hasn't said anything since he popped in here. Agent Moss hasn't said anything. Nick is over there. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let them pick your brain because this game was very, very concerning for me. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm worried. Listen, I had this team. I looked at the schedule, and obviously I didn't count on all these injuries, right? But I had this team going 13-3. Obviously, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think we lose another game or two. I still think we can win, 10 games, 11 games. But I'm going to shut up. I want to hear what everyone else has to say on this because this is real. This is real life, and I only use Madden because I never played at a professional level. That's why I use that as a reference, right? And obviously, it's not a video game, okay? So I don't want people to think that Mike thinks, oh, it's Madden and you could just call. That's not what I'm saying. That's not. I said it looks like a Madden play where someone's on 3rd and long and they call punt block. Okay, I was just being facetious. I wasn't saying that's what's really happening. But I am going to shut up. I want to hear what other people have to say. I want to see if they have any questions to pick your brain before you get out of here.
We got you, man. We got you.
Okay. Well, Mike, it's funny. It's funny you brought up Madden because in Madden I actually used the Dolphins playbook, and I think the formation that you were talking about is 3-4 bear. That's the formation that they have in their playbook on Madden, Miami, and I use their playbook. So I thought it was funny that you brought that up. But ED, I have a question for you. As far from a DB perspective, now I know we talked about
you cover up the nose and the guards. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so I know we talked about Brian Allen, and we don't want to put it on him because, like you said, he wouldn't be on the team if it wasn't for injuries. But we've seen it with Akello Witherspoon. We see it with Dante Johnson. I've seen it around the league. I see it in college football. From a DB's perspective, they always talk about get your head around and find the ball. Why is it so difficult for corners these days to get their head around and find the ball? I see a lot more pass interference penalties from DBs just running, looking at the receiver, putting their hands up and not turning and getting their head around. Is it coaching? Is it play style? What is it about these new style DBs where they're not getting their heads around?
Man, you know what? That's something that I'm
I think we lost ED.
Yeah.
ED, I think we lost you. Your camera popped off and you were breaking up.
Hello.
All right, we got you back now. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Can you hear us, ED?
No, yeah. So what I'm I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Can you hear me? Yeah, so it's one of those things, man, where it's just about a panic. It's about a panic state. It's about a panic state. You have to be comfortable and just look for the ball. No coach can tell you when to do it, or when not to do it. No coach can tell you that it's that you're in the right position. It's one of those things like we used to always talk about when you know you can bite a guy on the ear, then when you can bite him on the ear, you're in position to look for the ball. It's so funny, but that's Ray Rhodes, my DB coach, that taught me how to be an NFL DB. He used to always say that. He was like, don't look until you can bite his ear. Until you can bite his ear, don't look for the ball. But when you're there, when you feel comfortable, when you feel like you're in control of the route, go get the ball. So these guys, I'm watching, and I'm wondering why they're all running, and they just keep looking at the guy. They're worried about it's. I don't know. I don't even know what it is other than you. If I'm in position to where I'm in your face, I can turn and look for the ball, and I'm trying to go get the ball, because you got to understand the route. A lot of it is understanding the route, understanding where you are on the field, understanding where the ball is coming from, the angle of the ball, where it's going to be coming in. All of these things will allow you to know which way to turn your head, when to look, how to look, and it's a feel thing. So you can't tell a guy anything other than this. When you feel like you're in control, look for the ball and make a play. Guys aren't looking because they obviously don't feel like they're in control. And that's never changed, and it's never going to change. So there's nothing that you can say to a guy as a coach. There's nothing that Saleh can say. There's nothing DB coaches can say. There's nothing that a teammate can say that's going to change the way that particular player played that snap. You know what I mean? Because that's how it is. It's just like you got to know. Because I can't tell you when you are in control. All I can say is that when you diagnose what's happening, when there's a clock in your head, to where you got to know is like, and I could close my eyes, and I used to practice that way, where it's like, okay, here we go, like snap the ball. This is a 3-step. This is a 10-yard route. This is a play action. Deep ball's coming. Look, you got to work it and know it and just feel comfortable, and it's that simple. So but now remember, again, there was a guy in that position that's not used to being in that position. Dude, it ain't easy out there. It's not, like I say, pressure, Mike, you either feeling it or you're applying it. And when you're not used to being out there, you are feeling it. And it feels like a 10,000-pound gorilla, man. And that's what it is. So you see it from a lot of guys, but it's no different than it's always been. This is when you feel like you're in control, you're gonna look for the ball. Some guys are more confident doing it. Marcus Peters has never had a problem looking for the ball.
Yeah,
Okay?
but he's also
Think about it.
He gambles too much and gives up big plays also.
Yes, but you know what? There is not a DB coach on planet Earth that wouldn't take him, because you're absolutely right. You know that he is going to give up some things, but you also know that he is going to make you 30 great plays a season, and you'll take them. Because out of those 30 great plays, he's probably going to give your offense an extra 15 to 20 opportunities to score. That's why he is who he is. That's why nobody complains about it, because you're right. And I tell Peter every time I talk to him that you are not even remotely as good as you could be, because you are so undisciplined. But and look at where he is. He's on a Hall of Fame track, and he's not even close to being as good as he can be because of that lack of discipline. But that's the thing. But wouldn't you, now look at what we're talking about? Wouldn't you guys rather have a guy that has the confidence to make those big plays, as opposed to saying, I'm gonna make the safe play? Okay. If you're afraid to make a play, if you're afraid to make a mistake, you'll never make a play.
And see, that's why I like Akello. I feel like Akello will abandon his guy, go try to make a play, and then it looks like it's on him. So I'm with you on that. That's why I defend Akello so much. Everybody on the show will tell you that I have defended Akello tooth and nail. So you like our corners? Let me ask you that question straight out. Like you see Sherman, you see Witherspoon, you see Mosley, You are confident. Well, I like Quan.
Wait, hold on. Let me put him. Hold on. Let me give you a different. I like Sherm. I like Jason Verrett. Those are your two best corners. I've said it before. Continue to say it.
You think Verrett is better than the other two guys, and Mosley and Spoon?
I think it makes sense why he thinks that too.
I want to know why. I want to know why.
I think. Listen to me. If Jason Verrett gets his health back, and because all he needs is time to play to get back to form, Jason Verrett gets back to form. Jason Verrett is the best cover corner on this team. He's better than Akilo. He's better than Mosley. He's better than Sherm. He would be the best one-on-one, man-to-man corner on this team. Dude is special. If you go back and you look at him when he was at his best, and if he can physically get back to his best, there is not another dude on this team that can cover one-on-one in space like him.
I listened to an interview with Verrett this past week, and they asked him to compare himself currently with his 2000 whatever year it was Pro Bowl self, and the first comment out of his mouth was that version of me was healthier than the current version of me. You still think that this current version is better than what we have now with other guys?
This current version as max will be better than this current. No, listen. Let me say this: this current version at its max will be better than Witherspoon and E-Man. Won't be better than Sherm. If he can't get back to his max, he won't be a better cover guy, because Sherm is just so smart. That's the thing about Sherm. Sherm has never been this quick twitch guy, this fast guy. Everything. Sherm just understands football.
Yeah,
cerebral. Sherm. I was a lot that way. Where I knew how to diagnose what you were doing. I knew route combinations. I knew, like I said, the timing of things. I knew personnel groupings, coordinators, tendencies. That's what helped me go. And then I had really, really good feet. I physically, I could do a lot of things with my body that a lot of guys couldn't do. See, Fever can do that. He moves a lot the way I used to move. And I look at him and just some of the things that he can do physically, it allows you to be able to make some plays in areas that other guys can't make. Sherm knows how to diagnose what's happening, and he's ready to jump on it the moment it comes. But if Fever can't get back to where he was then, Sherm's gonna be better. But Fever and Sherm will still be the two best corners. They are better than the other guys. But now, if Mosley and Witherspoon are your backups, you're good. So if you're asking me if those are the four guys at the corner position, am I comfortable? Yes, I'm completely comfortable.
Okay, I like it. I like that a lot. And by the way, shout out to the Lakers who just won the championship. I just want to give them a shout out. I know a lot of
I got that one on too.
Our Laker fans. Yeah, I got the tablet over here. I'm watching the game too, so I want to say a shout out to them while we're on the air. We're not going on over here, so that's pretty cool.
Would be 17. That would be 17, and I'm claiming all 17. I wasn't even born, but I'm claiming all 17.
Welcome to the club for being the first team with 17. But welcome to the club.
They just passed the Celtics, right?
They didn't pass anybody. They're welcome to the club. We already at 17. We were going for 18. Come on, Mike. Get your basketball stuff on.
Yeah. Okay, so you. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, all right. So, all right, I get
but
you.
But we'll beat you to 18, though. Don't worry. We'll beat you to
18. Ooh, talk your shit, Ed.
Real quick before we move on.
Ed.
Oh, real quick before we move on here, Harash
we will definitely beat you to 18.
Okay, man. If you say so. All right.
Harash Ramaya says, ED, would love to hear your thoughts on the Ward/Tart safety combo moving forward with the Niners.
I see, this is why I really like Jimmy. I like both. I like both of these guys at safety.
Who's more
because
talented?
I think they're kind of like they're both, but they're well, you know what? It's not even a question of most talented. I think. See, this is the thing. I think they're the same guy. I think they're both. You guys remember? You remember when Pittsburgh had Polamalu and they had Ryan Clark. Polamalu was a flashy guy, jump over the top, dive at the ball, make their interception. But the glue was Ryan Clark.
He was.
That's why Tim Tebow beat them, because Ryan Clark couldn't play that day. Ryan Clark was the guy. He was the guy that got everybody lined up. That was always there. That when something broke loose, he was the guy that made that wide open one-on-one tackle in space. Tart and Ward can both do that. That's why I keep saying I hope Sherm is open to moving to safety, because if you get Sherm in the middle of the field, I keep saying I think he can be like Merton Hanks. I think Sherm can be a Pro Bowl safety. I think Sherm, because the way we just discussed him understanding football, being able to diagnose things, being able to get it in place, we know he's physical enough to hit people and make the tackles and be in the box and do what's necessary from that standpoint. But you also get the hands, the playmaking ability. You're going to start to get more interceptions out of that position. So Ward and Tart, if you get another guy there, one of them can go. And I like them both. I really do, but I think they're the same guy. You need somebody that can get the ball out of this guy. It's really that simple. Because I've heard a lot of guys say some things. They were talking about Earl, and why were you talking about Earl Thomas and all this stuff? The reason I was on Earl Thomas, because Earl Thomas, he gives the ball back to the offense. That's your job on defense, is to give the ball back to the offense.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's where I am with the safeties position.
So then I want to know your thoughts of the game tonight, because we asked you a lot of very specific questions, but let's take a step back. The game is over. We got dominated from beginning to end in the trenches. What were your thoughts on the game tonight, and what changes would you have liked to have seen throughout the night that didn't happen?
Okay, my thoughts on this. This is 2 weeks in a row where you were outplayed by bad football clubs. So 2 weeks in a row. You lost to a team that had no wins. You lost to a team that had one win. I said on my pod, believe in 49ers, throw it out there. I said on the pod that this team has now lost the fear factor. So everything from last year, that revenge to let it go. There's no fear factor. The 49ers are a get-right team right now. People are looking at you on the schedule saying, okay, that's a win. That's how. And what I would have liked to see is not at the halftime, but at 14-0, I would have liked to see somebody get tired of getting their butt kicked. I would have liked to see somebody, be it a coach, be it a player, be it, I don't care if it's the equipment manager. I would have liked to see somebody say, this ain't us, and this has to be fixed. I would like to have seen somebody do like Steve did that day. Like, I'm ready to fight somebody. Like I'm sorry. I'm tired of getting embarrassed. We are better than this. And fix it. That didn't happen. So right now, moving forward, let's see what they're going to do. Like I said, nobody's coming. You got to look around. It's like we were after that 40-8. There was no yelling. There was no screaming. There were no speeches. There were no throwing helmets or kicking lockers. It was just a bunch of dudes looking at each other. And I know how I felt looking at them. I could tell they felt the same way. And all I was feeling was never again. Never again will I be a part of this. Never again will I
See,
put that type of performance on the field?
I felt that way last week, and then we came out this week and we ran the same type of performance. So let me ask you it this way then.
Well, this week was worse, Mike. This week was worse.
I know. Now we played a better team this week, and we got whooped by a larger margin this week. So my question is, do you still have postseason aspirations with this current team? Forget Super Bowl, because I had Super Bowl aspirations before this game. But right now,
stop with that. Stop with that. Right now, dude. First of all, now let me say, number one, this team is not better than Philly. Philly's actually a better football club than Miami. That's why I'm saying this is really bad.
What?
The Niners
No
are a bad
way.
team. You guys are a bad
No
team.
way.
Because Arizona's not a good football team.
Panel.
Miami's a better.
I never said that. I always said that the Eagles were better. They have a way better defense, Mike. And going up against that defense, I didn't say that. They had a four. Their starting defensive line, and then their rotation. They were rotating 8 men on the D, and we were getting smashed.
I'm the only person on this panel now that's
the Eagles defensive front is a beast.
That's what I was.
Yes, it is.
So for
the Eagles defensive front is what beat us. If the Eagles were fully healthy and didn't have as much injuries as they had, they probably would have beat us worse.
Y'all are playing because ED is on the field.
The Eagles defensive front is a beast.
I'm not gonna let y'all get away with that. Y'all are telling me that I'm the only person on this entire panel that felt like the
Eagles
the Dolphins are a better team than the Eagles. I'm the only person on this entire panel that feels that way.
Yeah,
I think so.
Tony, Nick, chime in, please, for the love of God. No, for all around. The better team. Y'all think that the Eagles were a better team than the Dolphins? We talked about this in all the shows leading up to the game, and I said, and y'all agreed with me that the Eagles were not a better team than the Dolphins. Now all of a sudden, ED is here and he's saying that y'all gonna agree with him.
But I'm asking you this question: Are we going by spec? Hold on. Are we going by speculation of team right now?
I'm talking about right now in the 2020 season. Y'all think that the Dolphins were a better team than the Eagles?
I don't think that the Dolphins were better than the Eagles.
No, Breezy said he doesn't think that the team.
I'm asking y'all, which team do you guys think? I'm not asking Eric.
I'm asking you right now, as in 2020, as in a full healthy roster or a non-healthy roster.
2019, 2018, none of that shit matters. I'm talking about right now, this year.
But the Eagles aren't healthy now.
I don't care who's healthy.
The way they are playing,
I'm asking y'all who the better team is, bro. Who's the better team in 2020?
The better team on paper would be the Philadelphia Eagles.
Don't get
me on paper.
No. Let me put it this way. Hey, Mike, let me say this, Mike.
They backtracking, bro, because everybody agreed with me before.
Forget paper, all of this stuff. The team that the 49ers played. So the team that the 49ers played against last week and the team that the 49ers played against this week. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter what's on paper and who wasn't there and who got injured. The team that's it. But both of them were bad ball clubs. That's what I'm saying. The 49ers are a bad football team right now because they've lost to 3 bad football teams. Arizona is a bad football team.
Yes,
they're
sir.
a bad football team.
Yes,
Philly's
sir.
a bad football team.
Yes, sir.
The Dolphins are a bad football team.
Yes, sir.
You've lost to 3 bad football teams. Guess what that makes you? You're a bad football team. So you have to be realistic about it. So now, so let's forget about what I wanted and what's going on. And so you're talking about Super Bowl. So forget Super Bowl. No, this isn't a Super Bowl team. This isn't a Super Bowl team. Your quarterback, your quarterback, your franchise quarterback doesn't have confidence. Wait a minute, what's that mic you broke up on me? Say that again.
Can we even make the postseason the way this team is operating right now?
As currently constructed, no. It's currently constructed, no. That's it.
That's
They
what
can't.
I want to know.
So you got to get.
That's what.
I think we all agree with that too, Mike.
And I'm gonna leave it with that, guys. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. So it's currently constructed with the mindset that this club has, with the players that they're having to work with. No, this is not a playoff team.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir. AED, man, we want to thank you.
Good talk, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Good talk, fellas. I'm gonna jump on.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
We'll do this again, sir.
Enjoy your wine. Let the family know we love them.
Peace,
and thank
fellas.
you for letting us borrow you for as long as you were here. We really appreciate it, man. And it was a good talk. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. Truly. You answered the call and you chimed in right away. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, man.
Peace out, E.
All right, man. You fellas know I always enjoy jumping on with you, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
All right. That's going to do it for Eric Davis, man. I'm disappointed in all of y'all on
Mike,
this show
man,
right now.
Like real talk, just be wanting to slap you in the face moments, bro. Because like I don't even know what you're talking about. I'll be honest with you. Because I know for a fact if you go on my show, I talked about how the Eagles are a better team. You get what I'm saying?
But Mike,
what we had to worry about.
Where do you see Miami being a better team than Philly?
Not a single. What? The points they put up, the teams they played, and how close they were in all those games. Everybody on the not you, Mose. Not you, Mose.
Because you weren't here game. They were close in one game. The Seattle game.
The other three parties on here, I asked y'all that specific question on whether or not we were going up against a better team than we were last week, and everybody said yes. Y'all are full of shit, bro. Y'all are full of shit, and y'all let Eric Davis change your mindset.
You know the Eagles played in some close games too.
I don't remember that question, honestly, but it's cool.
I remember Mike saying that this game was going to be harder this week with the Dolphins because of how many points they put up and who they went against, not the other way around, bro.
Y'all agreed with me. Y'all said that the Eagles haven't played anybody and they were still bums. And I said that the Dolphins played better teams and they were in every single one of those games. And y'all agreed with me that they were better teams. They were a better team than the Eagles. Now Eric Davis comes on here and y'all like, oh, no. I never thought that. That's bullshit, man. Okay. That's bullshit. I'm throwing the flag on all of y'all, man. That's bullshit, bro. Well, every single one of y'all said that the Dolphins were a better team than the Eagles. Eric Davis did something different, and now y'all like, yeah. You're right. That's bullshit, man.
You said the Dolphins were better.
Everybody agreed
with
me that the Dolphins were better than the Eagles. Every single one of y'all, bro.
That's what he's saying, Nick. I don't remember.
He's saying that y'all turncoated. He's saying that y'all agreed with him that Miami was a better team than Philly. But then when ED got on here and said Philly was a better team, y'all was like, well, yeah, they were. He's saying that y'all flipped sides.
I didn't even answer the question.
Y'all turncoated.
I answered the question as in health.
Nick, you just answered the question too. You just said that. I never said that. No,
I said on paper, the Philadelphia Eagles was a better football team than the Miami Dolphins.
All right, next. You done? Cool. What's next? Because I really don't give a fuck.
Tony hasn't said a word.
He hasn't had a chance.
Tony was starstruck.
Tony.
And put the shit
I'll admit it. Yeah, because you saw him taking pictures, right?
I don't know. I get it.
Tony was like,
no, I wasn't taking. I got it. No, believe me, I wish I could take a message.
Tony was
picture, but it wasn't a picture.
I'm disappointed in all of y'all, bro. Like, listen, man. But just because we got somebody on the show doesn't mean that your opinions got to change. That's bullshit, man. Like, listen. What makes our show
my
different?
opinion didn't change. I still think the Eagles is a better team than Miami.
Well, but Mose, I don't know what your thoughts were because you weren't on here before. So I'm not coming at you when I do that. So I want to make it clear. I don't know what your thoughts were, right? But I talked to all three of these guys, Wayne, Nick, and Tony. I talked to all of these guys, and we have had multiple shows before ED came on here, and we talked about this game being harder because this was a better team than what we played last week. And every single one of those guys agreed with me. Now, they can deny it all they want. That's fine.
I didn't deny that, though.
Y'all got to explain yourselves because Mike's not going to let this go.
Right. No, I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to let it go. I'm going to tell you why I let it go, because the record is there. It's all on video. They can go if y'all want to go back and prove somebody wrong. It's all out there. Y'all can go back and review the
apparently you want to prove it, so you go figure
no,
it out.
No.
And then I'll come on the show. At the end of the day,
I'm gonna go find it and send it.
But y'all can say I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. But
at this point, I don't even remember having a conversation on which team was harder to beat. I don't remember that at all. Because you want to know how I know I don't remember that? Because I ain't back down from shit. Whatever he said, I kept my stance. Even on that quarterback situation, which we got the actual quotes from Jimmy Garoppolo about him getting taken out of the game from Kyle Shanahan and while Kyle did it. And I still didn't back down. So I just don't remember that. So if I did it, pull it up, I'll look at it. Cool. It's on point. I don't mind eating crow or saying I'm wrong or apologizing. I've apologized on air for cussing y'all out. I don't have a problem with the apology.
And I'm going to let you know, I'm not even going to go back and watch it. I don't care that much. I don't care that much. Because I know what
if you didn't care that much, we wouldn't still be on it.
No, that's not true. No, what I'm saying is I don't care enough to go back and rewatch or re-listen. Okay, the podcasts are out there, the videos are out there. Y'all, and if anybody wants to know, y'all can go back and watch. But y'all folded. Y'all folded because Eric Davis was here, and that's bullshit. Y'all leave me on this ledge by myself like I'm some fucking idiot who doesn't understand what I'm talking about. But y'all all agreed. Every single one of y'all agreed that the Dolphins were a better team than the Eagles. They were a more complete team than the Eagles. We went down to the points allowed, yards allowed, and all that shit. We broke all of that shit down on this show. And that's fine. Y'all don't have to agree with me right now. I get it. Eric Davis was here. Y'all want to side with what he was saying. But that's what bullshit. I'm saying.
You're sitting here saying I agree with something, and you asked me a question.
I'm the only one that agreed, bro. So we can handle this like some gentlemen, or we could talk off the air or however, bro. I don't have a problem. Nick's saying he didn't say anything. I just don't remember that. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But I do know I talked about the Eagles.
I remember agreeing with Mike about this game and then playing in a tougher division, playing against Buffalo Bills, Seattle Seahawks, and the Patriots, I believe it was, or whoever it was that they played. And I said that they were neck to neck with them. We were talking about our secondary at the time and saying that they went toe to toe in a throwdown with the Seattle Seahawks and were scoring points, that this game was going to be a tougher game than what it was in Philadelphia. That's exactly what the conversation was about.
Yo,
and you agreed with it, Nick.
We just lost to the
Dolphins.
Exactly,
I just said that, but I didn't say anything tonight about the Eagles being better. You asked me a question, and I physically asked you, are you asking me on paper as in a 2020 healthy team?
If I sit there and go through all that shit,
so if the Eagles are healthy, you're telling me they're not a better football team than the Miami Dolphins right now?
The Eagles aren't healthy. I said the team we're playing against. Which team is better?
That's why I physically asked you the question tonight.
But you changing the narrative. That's not what I asked you. I said the teams that we played against, which one is better?
I said healthy or not healthy.
Full of shit, man. Hey, look, it's cool, man. Y'all got y'all legends to stand on. Y'all want to keep up this image or whatever. That's fine with me. I'm cool with it. I don't care. I don't care. Y'all got your opinions. That's cool. That's fine with me. Tony, I know you had a lot to vent on. You wanted to go off on this team. I'm giving you the floor now. I want to hear what you had to say. You haven't said shit literally all night long. I want to know what you got to say about this game that we saw.
Well, I've been on this show for probably 43 minutes. This is my first opportunity.
No, don't do that. That's
bullshit. Say shit.
That's bullshit too, Tony.
So, I mean,
you had.
I listen. I told you that Eric Davis. I told you.
You texted me and said ask him this question. But you had opportunities to speak. You didn't want to do it. Don't do that, bro. That's because y'all making me look like this fucking random guy.
No, every single one of y'all are making me look like you have a guest on the show who's an ex-football player.
Every one of y'all are making me look like a nutcase. That's not cool.
Why would I want to talk? Like seriously, I've been sitting for 40 fucking minutes, and I got.
No, what I'm saying is you had the opportunity to talk. You didn't want to. Y'all are making me look like some nut right now, bro.
Mike, 43 minutes of this show was the ED Mike Andrews show. I wasn't interrupting you. Did anybody hear out?
I tried to.
Nick, did you talk?
Yeah, I asked ED a question.
Lowe's, did you talk?
Yeah.
You asked one question. Wayne, did you talk?
Everybody had the opportunity to.
So I guess I'm wrong then, right? All right, here's my take. 49ers suck. They got their asses kicked.
Like that's
They're
a
in big
dope
trouble.
headline too for like a
Bam.
newspaper.
Nah, for real, it is.
We gotta tie it to like 49ers, tie it to a fish or something. That's kind of dope. I don't know, but I agree with you, Tony, man. It's a rough night, yo. I'm tired of having rough Sunday nights, guys. Like, it's the second one in a row, and this one was worse because I just didn't expect this. I thought after getting beat and losing a game that they should have won, this is the first game of the year where I felt like they looked like they didn't beat themselves. I guess you could say they beat themselves.
Team has no swagger left. They have no energy.
I know Quan was laying the pipe on them players, though. He was
but that's the thing. Like he was playing hard, but you're not getting rally points from everybody. Like it's like they're just walking around the field with their heads down. The minute we went down 14-0, it was a whole different team.
Hey guys, who are the captains of this team? We talked a little bit about that. Who are the captains?
Trent Williams, George Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo, Richard Sherman.
Stop right there.
Fred Warner.
I think Richard Sherman being out, his leadership. That's something that we could talk about. And I remember someone commented on. They said something about someone being on the not being on the field, but being here. I think the leadership is missing, guys. I really think that veteranship. Or they talked about bringing in some type of a veteran backup quarterback. Would it have been a little bit different? And the thing that I wanted to pick off from that was the word veteran, yo. Like, who's our veterans? Like savvy vets, like vets that have been through the trenches and through the wires and the fires, and they could come in and be like, guys, it's not over with. It's we can still do this. Like I'm wanting to know where those players are coming from.
There is none. And to be honest with you, if Richard Sherman was on the field,
Okay,
it wouldn't be different. That's just my opinion. I just see this team flat out quit today.
But do you think they quit because maybe
out.
they felt some type of way? Like, what if the team? I'm gonna try to be like Mike. I like Mike. If I could be like Mike, I'm gonna try to be like Mike and throw this out there, right? What if the team was rallying behind like one of their comrades? Let's say Akella Witherspoon, and then Kyle Shanahan pulls the okey doke on them or whatever, and then they just come out there and just say whatever. They just do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't see them help. I didn't see any help. I didn't see any like body trying to pick somebody up, lift somebody's spirit. Again,
they're flat. There's something wrong with this team, and I know everyone's going to sit. We could all sit here and say this team has been the most hurt by injuries out of any team in the league. I think we could all agree on that, right? Okay. So with that being said, what I see is when they wanted to go down the field and score, right? What they did it with Juszczyk, and then they did it with Kendrick Bourne, the two scores that they had. The one with Juszczyk, where Jimmy was still in the game, they went right down the field. Now, my question would be to Kyle, if I was in a room with him, if this works, why are you going away from it? Okay, you're talking about like Edie, Eric Davis made a point about it's the quarterback. Okay, it's the quarterback holding the ball. Like we said previously, not last week, Nick, they blamed, it looked like Trent Williams was the fault why Nick Mullins got sacked or the tackle behind the line in a run game. When you're in an offense like this, timing is everything. Your launching points are everything. And clearly this offensive line is not on the same page with the quarterback. The quarterback's not on the same page with the receivers. He had Deebo Samuel wide open on a slant coming across the middle. He threw it at his feet. Like, there's a big issue with this team. It could be because of all the injuries and all the time that these guys did not play together and get reps together in a game setting. I mean, you could throw all you want on the practice field behind the stadium with shorts and a T-shirt on. That's nothing because there's no one coming in your face. There's no one like coming at you straight in your face, and there's no one blocking, jamming you off the line of scrimmage. So I could sit there and make all those throws standing there with T-shirts and shorts. So the problem is, I think, number one, the injuries killed this team this year. That's number one. Number two, they need to make some big crucial decisions on this roster on people who are owed big money that they can have an opportunity to move on from because they're not doing it. And I'll say it, D Ford, if they can move on from him, it's time to go because you have a lot of free agents on this team and you need every freaking penny that you have to bring this team, certain players that you want to retain back. Okay. So we addressed the injuries. We addressed decision-making on the roster, coaching. Why is Kyle Shanahan on 4th and fucking 1 in a shotgun doing a handoff? What is that? Yep. What is that? When the commentator said he's 14 for 15 on 4th and 1 court. No. What was it? No, he was 6 of 8 on 4th and 1 quarterback sneaks with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I like Tony. I said even if we didn't get it on the sneak, at least I would have been satisfied that we tried with the quarterback sneak. Okay. But I think we would have got it. But even if we didn't, I would have been okay.
Correct. But my thing is, all right, the ball's on, let's just say the 30. You need to get to the 31. Why would you stand at the 25 to get to the 31?
Yep.
Behind this offensive line.
So you just said that you asked your running back to get you 5 yards. Not even that type of a running back that can get you that 1 yard. You thought he was going to get you 5.
Now, listen, if he tried to do a cute thing, like, put Jimmy in the shotgun and have him walk up to the line slowly and try to make an audible and get his hands under center, then try to sneak it, okay, you're trying to trick the defense. But when you're in 4th and 1 and you clearly sitting in the shotgun and you just say, oh, here you go, and you hand it to Jet McKinnon.
Of all people. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, why be in a 4th down situation? You're going 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage of where you need to go. You hand it off to the wrong guy. Why not get under center and, even just have a running back there with speed to create something to where you can do a slant, or if you don't do a quick slant throw, or you don't do a quarterback sneak. It was just stupid. It was just completely stupid. But I got a question for you, Tony, because you're talking about D4 and that stuff, right? The trade deadline's coming up, right? How many more games does this team need to lose before they become sellers?
Well, I got news for you. They're going to get their asses kicked by the Rams next week. I'm telling you that right. I'll say it right on the air.
Do you think we're sellers coming in to compensate money back so that we can sign people back to this team?
I mean, here's the question.
Hey, Tony, I'll bet you lunch that we beat the Rams.
You'll bet me lunch?
I bet you lunch.
All right. I'll bet you lunch. Definitely. I'll take that bet. I don't know if here's the thing. Who are you selling? You know what I'm saying? Like we could try to be sellers. We could try to sell Quan Alexander, but the question is, do they want to take that money?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Well,
that's the problem. And I'm gonna, if I get a chance over the next couple weeks, I'm really gonna sit down and look at Spot Rack and try to figure out what is going on as far as these details of this contract. If there's outs, what time does the opt-out have to be done by in order to get X amount of money, or it does have to be done by this? Because I'm telling you right now, there's reasons why people didn't get their contracts negotiated. I'm telling you straight up. And the number one guy...
Can you be more specific? I was going to say, can you name some of those people?
Jimmy Garoppolo. There's one... That is the number one guy where they had ample, tons of opportunities to sit there and say, you know what? Let's take it. Let's lower his money this year and extend him 2 more years and give him that, roll that money down the hill because he's going to be our guy.
Can I ask this question? Because I like that. Name a current quarterback that you think can come in here and run Kyle Shanahan's offense.
I mean, that's available to us, or just anybody in general?
Anybody in the league. You can pick 31 other quarterbacks. Which quarterback could come in here and run this offense?
Sam Darnold.
Oh man, I don't even know, to tell you the truth.
I mean, you can.
There's one answer right now.
What is it?
And it's Aaron Rodgers. That's it.
Now, we talked a little bit earlier about.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. It's funny, Mike. It's funny you say Aaron Rodgers. All right. There's a big difference in that offense from year 1 to year 2 under LaFleur, right? LaFleur butted
because they were 13-3 last year. It's not a big difference.
I'm talking about on the end of what Aaron Rodgers is producing. He's my quarterback in fantasy. He put at least 32 points up for the last 3 weeks.
But
previous year, he didn't do that.
The difference with Aaron Rodgers this year versus any other year, one, he knows the system. Okay. All right, he's playing in the system already, and two, Aaron Rodgers doesn't give a shit what the coordinator says. If he sees a play that's not going to work, he's going to audible at the line.
So Mike,
and
is
that's
going
why
my
I
next
think
question.
That's great. That's great. But here's my question to you: is Kyle going to accept that?
Right. That's my question.
He don't have to accept it because Aaron Rodgers will argue with you in the locker room after the game is over while I do what we got to do to get the win.
So now you're having a power struggle between your quarterback and your head coach of your franchise.
But you're winning though.
Yeah, but you're going to get the W. Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers already said this is my last year in Green Bay. Meanwhile, he's kicking ass every single game. Aaron Rodgers don't care what the coordinator got to say. I know your playbook, right? I'm gonna run the plays that you say. But if they're not going to work, I'm going to audible at the line. Remember when they first got there? Remember this for a second. The first thing you heard was Aaron Rodgers wants the right to make audibles at the line, and that's a big argument. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to just let you come in here and say, this is the play we got to run. If it's not going to work, he's going to check you, coordinator, at the line and call the play that he wants to call. Because he's not just going to sit back and let you be wrong. Aaron Rodgers cares about winning and winning only. That's the only reason why I said Aaron Rodgers. one, he knows the system. Two, he doesn't give a shit about pissing off the offensive coordinator as long as he's winning. Because if you get rid of him, then all of a sudden you as a head coach or coordinator look like an asshole. Why are you going to get rid of a guy that's winning? Aaron Rodgers doesn't care. He wants to win. We need somebody with balls to stand up to Kyle Shanahan and say, this play ain't going to work right now. And we don't have that on this team.
And they got to produce, Mike, because if they have balls and don't produce, then it's going to be a problem.
Right. But that's gonna give Kyle more ammunition for the next quarterback who comes in. So if it is Aaron Rodgers, I hope he's putting up the same, if not better, numbers. Because I agree with you. I think we do need somebody to tell Kyle, shut the fuck up. I got this. Just shut up. I got it.
I mean, what's the whole purpose of having a quarterback like that? Like, do you right again? Like, what's the purpose of saying I got a shot caller if you're not letting them call the shots because you got to micromanage everything?
Right.
And this has been the decline of Jimmy Garoppolo. Start with the micromanagement games. Think of what's going on. We haven't seen Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy is so much in his own head. And this is not from the 2 interceptions he threw, because I thought after the first interception, he would have woke up. Whether he's injured or not, I just think he's micromanaged. And I don't think this is a good fit for him anymore. Like, I think, sometimes marriages work and sometimes marriages don't work. It's just what it is. And I think that this relationship right now is starting to wear thin. And Tony spoke about being out on a contract. And there's a lot of stuff starting to kind of like come to fruition. I'm hoping this is not what this stuff is. I'm hoping Jimmy Garoppolo gets healthy. He comes in here, hands the ball off well, throws the ball well. We haven't even seen him get the ball out quick enough. Like, what is going on? And I asked that question because I really want to know who would be this quarterback. Because Eric Davis said something interesting. And I don't know if he meant this about Jimmy Garoppolo, but he asked about he was definitely talking about Nick Mullins. But let's talk about it. Jimmy Garoppolo is a backup quarterback. What if he's a backup quarterback? What if that's all he is? Why are y'all quiet?
It could be. I have a question for you guys. Do you think he rushed? Do you think they rushed Jimmy back?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You think they rushed him back?
After Mullins' performance, and CJ did come in and throw a few passes, but after what they saw from Mullins against the Eagles, I definitely think they rushed him back. And I think Kyle felt like this game against Miami will be easier, and we can get Jimmy reps this game since he's been out the past couple of weeks, so that he's ready for the Rams and then the stretch run we have after that. So I completely agree that he was rushed.
Now, do you I didn't watch the whole game. I just saw bits and pieces and I saw highlights. Do you think he looked comfortable in the pocket, or did he favor his leg?
He favored it because the like Nick was saying earlier, his passes had no zip. Almost every pass was a flutter pass. It was a duck. He didn't have any zip. He didn't have any velocity on his throws. He definitely could not plant on that bad ankle.
So that right there falls on Kyle, because if he's not 100%, he shouldn't be on the field. And the same with the Keller Witherspoon. They should address Nick Mullins and kept Jimmy inactive. And if Akello was that hurt, and his allegedly, because I read something on Twitter when I was at dinner that he said he's only going to play in an emergency situation because his hamstring is still tight. Well, sit your ass on the fucking inactive list. We don't need you here. Because Allen, from the highlights the highlights I saw, they picked the shit out of him. They saw something and they just went play after play after play, and they just hit him.
What's funny is that
the 49ers had no answer for
my
it.
fat ass when I was bigger.
You know what's funny about that, Tony? When Allen got benched, they went to the second weakest DB, which was who was playing the slot, Jamar Taylor, I think, at the time, and then he got burnt.
Mm-hmm.
So right,
they put Taylor on the outside.
No. They went to the slot receiver because they knew Taylor was, and then so Fitzpatrick was just that smart, like and he just all he did was stick with it. Hey, and then we started to see it change in the second half when the defense got smarter. When the Keller Witherspoon came in, you stopped seeing those deep shots down the field, right? Then they started dunking it. I'm telling you, man.
Now my question is, since we talking about DBs and we talking about the defense, and I asked this question a couple weeks ago when we were going over these injuries, why have we not seen more Tavarius Moore? Why haven't we seen him come in and play corner? I know we talked about, his tracking the ball and him taking bad angles, but I would think he's better than Brian Allen and Jamar Taylor. Or why haven't we seen, Jimmy Ward made it apparent earlier that he wants to stay at free safety. He wants to stay at one position so that he can continue to gain confidence. But why haven't we seen an adjustment to say, look, I know we want to keep you here, but we're not healthy enough to do that. You're better than what we have else on this roster. So why haven't we seen anything like Jimmy move down the corner? And then if we don't want to put Tavarius Moore at corner, we play him at safety because we trusted him enough to play him at safety in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And he had an interception. He plays well for us when he's on the field, Tavarius Moore. Why haven't we seen more of him? Or is he also injured?
I'm going to tell you what's mind-boggling. It's interesting you brought up Moore. Last season, he was the only safety that got created turnovers.
Yeah, and dime coverages. Yep.
He had 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl? No, 1 interception in the Super Bowl. He had an interception in a previous, maybe it was the first of the Vikings or the Packers. He's the only safety that recorded an interception in 2019. Now, I mean, I maybe it's me. I don't know, but if he's your ball hawk, why is he not playing?
It's got to be something about him diagnosing the play, maybe like on base and on the base defense. Maybe something is not. It's got to be something him being able to diagnose plays in regular coverages. Because when you seen him do that, it was in dime. So he had one responsibility. But when he has to have 2 or 3 responsibilities, or he has to communicate to the guy, because I got to do this and I got to, I think that's where it gets confusing for him. I think that's my only logical reason that I could think it being, honestly.
Yeah, if you're putting him in man coverage, that's his only responsibility. Is that guy? That one guy.
We're talking about at safety, though. Are you talking about at cornerback?
Yeah, if you put him in that corner, he's better than Brian Allen.
I don't know why they won't play him at corner. I don't. I feel like the 49ers are getting guys that play safety and they want them to just play safety. I think
it could be because of the injury factor, because if he comes out there and gets injured or something and then Jimmy Ward goes down, there's nobody else there.
But we can't play like that, right? Can't.
No, I completely agree. I've been saying for a while, why isn't Tavarius Moore not playing more corner, right?
I mean,
outside corner at least. And he's played slot corner too.
And if you just look at Kyle's philosophy, The reason why we haven't moved on from Jimmy Ward is because Jimmy Ward he thinks and feels that Jimmy Ward is one of our best 11 players on defense. So because he's one of our best 11 players on defense, he needs to be on this team and he has to be on the field. Well, okay, Tavarius Moore may not be the best 11, but he's the best of your backups. He's better than Jamar Taylor. He's better than Brian Allen. He's better than an unhealthy Ahkello Witherspoon. Why do we not see him more on the field?
That's a whole nother show, bro.
I don't know.
It's just very confusing today. I mean,
Tony took my word.
Look, even Matt Mayoko called out the coaches, the players, everything. He never does that.
He was confused.
Did you guys hear him?
I did.
I don't know if other people heard it, but I'm about to play that shit because I found it interesting what he was saying. So here, see if you guys can hear this. Let me turn this up real quick.
No, but I don't think that the right decision was to start Jimmy Garoppolo. If at halftime you determined that he's not good enough or he can't protect himself, why was he starting this game? He didn't make it through a complete practice on Wednesday or Thursday. Why was he out there playing if he couldn't protect himself? And then that became apparent in the first half of this game. And as for Brian Allen, none of us even knew who Brian Allen was before he ended up in the starting lineup. A lot of people are going to be criticizing Brian Allen. Don't criticize Brian Allen. Criticize the people who put Brian Allen into that position. It was a no-win position for him. Up from the practice squad on Saturday in the starting lineup, of course the Dolphins are going to go after him. And if Ahkello Witherspoon is healthy enough to suit up for the game, why wasn't he in the starting lineup? There were so many things about this game that absolutely made no sense from a coaching standpoint, from a playing standpoint, from every standpoint. The 49ers looked like a disorganized, horrendous football team.
now wait 1 second. Mike's
falling asleep over there.
could you hear me? What'd you say to me about Richard Sherman? About how you feel he's like not into it anymore with this team?
Yeah, I don't think it's just an injury. I think it's more than that with Richard
All right,
Sherman.
well,
But
you want to know my honest opinion? I don't think these guys like Tony Oden.
I said that.
that's it.
Compared to Joe Wood.
I don't know if he
they
likes
don't
his
like
field
the
and boundary.
scheme. I think they're rebelling and getting, or they're not grasping the concept, or they just don't flat out like it, and they look
Because the secondary is a
They
mess.
don't like-
I understand there's
it's-
injuries, but even the back end that's not affected by injuries looks a mess.
like how does Ward not cover? Never mind. How does he know? When have we ever seen him blow coverage like that, like he did today?
He hasn't done that in a while.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm confused. And the only newest addition, as you know, in the coaching side, is infusing this man defense, this man press man, whatever, with the new DBs coach.
So that's that. And just remember how they built this defense. They built this defense. They built the front line of this defense. And that's where they're decimated most with injuries.
You're right, man. And yeah.
So now the back end is really getting exposed, not even including the injuries to the back end. So, I mean, there's a big problem on that defensive side of the ball. It also doesn't help that they faced a similar type defense the week before they faced the Niners in Seattle.
All right.
But I mean, listen, man, you could sit here and point the finger at honestly, across the board. Across the board, you can point the finger.
I got to get up out of here, right? But here's my question to you guys before I get up out of here. How realistic can the 49ers internally fix what's going on?
They can fix it.
Okay, and I don't even care if you give me a percentage or not. The fact that you said that they can fix it is all I need to hear. I'm ready for the Rams.
The problem is You're talking about up top, or you're talking about players?
I'm talking about period. I feel like there's some internal stuff going on, some miscommunication, some power struggles. Like, how are they going to be able to address it this season so that they can continue to move?
Well, I don't think.
Or is it unaddressable now, and we have to wait? We have to wait this out.
That's what I think it is.
Okay.
I think this season. I mean, it's very hard for me to say because I love this team, but it doesn't. This season doesn't look good.
Okay.
I mean, we struggled against Philly, the Dolphins.
We struggled against the Giants too.
Now we're going. Who are we going? We're going to the Rams. Who's after the Rams?
The Patriots, then the Seahawks.
Patriots, then the Seahawks. You're going into
the Packers
teams that could pass the ball, like with no problem. Like the one positive I saw in this defense, if you want to call it a positive, was their run defense was okay.
Yeah, they've been okay all season.
But other than that, I mean, I'm sorry, man.
Did you just kick them off?
No. Left.
Go ahead, Tony. My bad.
They need to ditch the wide 9 right now because they don't have the athletes.
Thank you, Tony. But
if they want to run like a wide 9 on like a nickel on a 3rd and long, absolutely.
That's the coordinator. That was what Eric Davis was talking about. Those are those end game adjustments. Look, this not working. Give me base nickel something. And I'm sorry, the blitzes are cool, but now you're suspect to coverage because if you don't hit on the blitz, somebody is wide open. And we get torched by, pretty decent quarterbacks. Not that Fitzpatrick is decent, but if he has enough time to throw the ball, he's going to be able to get it there. If he couldn't, he wouldn't be in the league. Guys,
I don't know.
It's been a real show, man. I got to get up out of here, man. But
yeah, we can definitely hop up out of here, man. It's been a 3-hour and 15-minute show. So appreciate ED coming on. Mike staying on for as long as he did.
Appreciate Mike for coming on too. He's been a great guest. Mike, good job.
He faded out. Yeah. So I mean, look, man, we know we're in trouble right now. We got to step it up. There's got to be, this team is not anywhere near what we thought it was going to be this year. We have to see what's coming up. Can this team bounce back? We don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see in the next 5 weeks, 4 weeks. I'll even go 3 weeks. We're going to see where this team's at.
I just think we're better than what we are, Nick. I do. And I know it doesn't look like it, but
I agree with you. I think if this team didn't have the injuries and, didn't have the ups and downs, like, the offensive line didn't play together. Jimmy was out this week. Debo was out that week, but Nick Mullins was the quarterback this week. Now CJ Beathard's getting a look this week. If none of this shit happened, I think we'd be in a totally different spot. And I think Kyle truly is afraid to run his offense. So he's trying to mesh something up just to try to get through these games. But what kills me is if he sticks to the basics, when they coming out in 21 personnel and they run that I formation shit where they roll the pocket, bro, they went right down the field. Why is he not sticking to it?
I'm confused. Did we read John V's contribution?
No, I pulled it off.
I'll read it. Fam, nobody in that organization has the balls to tell Kyle anything, not even Jed. Is it possible Kyle's lost the team, including Salah? I absolutely believe they rushed Jimmy back. Super Bowl window to rebuild. I'm lost. John V, thank you for the $20 contribution. Guys, really quickly touch on this, please.
I don't think Kyle's lost this team. And what Mike was saying earlier and kind of ED was trying to explain is nobody's on the hot seat because they got a ton of injuries. This isn't the 49ers team. Right? So you can't fire somebody for the talent not being there right now. So I definitely don't agree that Kyle's lost the locker room or Salah or anything like that. I think it's just these guys are deflated. They're deflated because of injuries. They're not who they were. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we're down to 4 or 5 guys that are 4th and 5th on the depth chart. It's not like we're at the second guy in some positions, right? Some positions we're at 4 or 5, 6. So I don't think they're going to blame that, like, put that on the coach, right? So I don't think the coach is going to lose the locker room or things like that. I think a lot of these guys truly believe in Kyle Shanahan. When this team is up and running and healthy and operating the way that it is, it's a well-oiled machine, but it's not there. So I don't agree with Kyle Shanahan losing the locker room.
No. Yeah, I'll second that. I don't think he's lost the locker room or lost somebody like Saleh. I think it's just a tough time. If you look at the totality of everything that's happening with this season, and how different it was and the adjustments that people had to make with COVID-19, and then the injuries, I just think it's one of those things like when it rains, it pours.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to remember and consider that these guys are human too. Like this comparison is nowhere near the same thing, but like there's been a lot of stuff going on within my household that it feels like it's just one thing after another. Like,
bro,
the 49ers lost last week. I had to have my wisdom teeth taken out. Then my daughter had an infection in her tooth, and we had to rush her to the emergency room. And then we lose again. And then other stuff is going on. And then something happened with the car, and it was almost overheating, and I almost had to go pick up my wife. It's like when things start happening, they happen in bunches.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like that's just what this team is going through. Things are happening, and it's just happening in bunches, and it looks like it's all happening at once, and it's this dark cloud. But I think if we can find a way to squeeze some wins out in this next stretch, if we can get to week 11, our bye week, at 5-5, I think coming out of that bye week, we may be in position to write our ticket to the playoffs, even if that's that 6th or 7th seed. If we can find some way in these next 5 games to go 3-2 and be at 500 by our bye week, I think we'll be all right. And as much as I'm pissed off and upset with the showing over the last 2-3 weeks, you know, that's me being faithful, being optimistic that, like Tony said, if we can just get something to click, if we can get these guys to wake up, to focus, to find that hunger and that energy and that fire again, if we could just make it to 500 by our bye week, that last, 6 games that we have, I think we can make a push.
Cool. Any final thoughts, Tony, Mike?
Okay, Mike.
No, I don't have many final thoughts for tonight, man. It's just it was a rough game, man. It really, really was, and I'm hoping that a lot of it has to do with the injuries that happened. I'm hoping that a lot of it is the team, the coaches, just not knowing who's healthy and what plays to call. Hopefully, we can turn it around. This is a crucial time for this team right now. I'm not one of those people who believe in the Super Bowl hangover. You either have a good team or you don't. And when you're losing to the bad teams in the NFL, that means that you're a bad team also. But we'll see what happens. When we sign off of shows, we say prepare for glory, but anticipate pain. This is the pain part. This is the pain part of the schedule. We're going through it right now, and we just got to see what happens, man. We got to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And right now we're going through the worst. And if things turn around, then we'll be all right. But we don't know what's going to happen yet. We have no idea. I'm hoping that the Vikings pull this win out and give us a little bit of help. And you got to remember that, it's the NFL. Teams are injury ridden all the time, and we got ours at the beginning of the season.
Correct.
Last year that worked out in our favor. We got a lot of guys back at the end of the season that helped us down the stretch. We were missing some guys still, but we had more positives than negatives, and that's what we got to hope for here. We have to hope that these guys can weather the storm until the reinforcements can come in. And if that's not the case, then we have to rely on this offensive, the staff, the coordinators, and the defensive coordinators to help this team out. They have to come in here and they have to show everybody that we are a team, not just one side of the ball. It's not just one aspect of it. It can't just be, oh, well, we can score if we have short field position. We had that horrible return from Kevin White tonight, but it was a touchdown drive. We had a good punt return from Trent Taylor. It was a touchdown drive. But other than that, there was nothing else. We have to know that this team can go out there and put up points against anybody. We have to start looking inside. We have to start assessing the character that's in this locker room, and then we have to also go out and use the players to their advantage. Don't go out there and just call plays just to call plays. Call plays that fit your personnel.
Yes.
Call plays that fit the players that are on the roster. And as soon as we do that, this team can compete with anybody. It's the same mantra that we had last year. Nobody expected us to go to the Super Bowl last year except for a handful of people, and we were there. It's not over yet. There's a reason there's 16 games, not just 5. So through 5, we're 2-3, but we're going to get it right. I hope we get it right. And those are my final thoughts.
Now Mike made a good point. All right. The 2 bad returns by White and Taylor, right? They went right down the field and scored. Like, why isn't that consistent? That's what I would just love to know. And I said it repeatedly. This team's going to go as far as their offensive line will take them. And that's that. Because right now, all the pressure's on Kyle and that offense, not the defense, because the defense has nothing. They're down to the 8th string corner, I think ED said. And you got defensive ends that are lining up that weren't even on the original practice squad, but they had to pull back because they had nobody else. Alex Barrett, I don't even know if he got a snap today or nothing, but like on the defensive side of the ball, this team is down to like nothing. So Kyle shows the ability to move this team down the field and score when he needs to, but my biggest concern and question is why isn't it consistent? Why isn't it on a consistent basis? Now, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked if this team goes out and fucking goes on a tear and starts winning games, because Kyle's stupid like that. He'll get like crazy and start. He's just when he needs to do something, he does it. It's the in between from when it's needed and when it's like, okay, well, if I don't get it on this one, we'll grab it on the next one. So I don't know, but if this team goes on an 0 for stretch over these next 3-4 games, there's going to be problems as far as trying to get in the playoffs, at least. I don't think anybody's going to get fired because of the injury situation, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're plagued by this injury bug. And it's not injury to depth, it's injury to some star caliber players, some key positional players. And shout out to the guys that are able to go in and get the season to go and give us 49ers football. So big up to them. But it's definitely a big drop off in the talent level, right? Because we're seeing guys that can create pressure, but it's not dominant. It's not a fear factor enough because they're not bringing the quarterbacks down. I mean, if you watch Ryan Fitzpatrick, he gets bobbled inside that pocket, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's about to be a sack. And then he just slithers out and takes off and runs, So, with that being said, I still have some optimism. I still think that the 49ers play up to competition and play down to competition, if that makes sense. I think going into these last few games, these were like supposed to be easy wins, and it kind of came out flat in all of them. A couple of them they were victorious, and a couple of them they weren't. And I think going against this Rams team, we'll definitely be breaking it down all week for you guys, but I think this is going to come down to the coaching, guys. This is the game we're going to see Kyle Shanahan do what he's supposed to do because of coach thing. And I'm just hoping that the players just come out healthy, perform, and execute. That's all we can ask, guys. Man, stay faithful. We're going to be in there, man. We're going to be in there. It's going to be a brighter day.
Yep. So we'll see, man. It's going to be a long week. We don't play till Sunday night next week. So Sunday Night Football against the LA Rams. Yeah, that's pretty much it for us over here. So prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
What, Mike? What's up?
Yeah.
We out.
No, I was going to say we out.
Oh, all right. We out.
Peace.
Peace.